Good morning. It is showtime. Happy Wednesday morning. Cheers. Wow, my computer's already taking off, it sounds like. So how's everyone doing? Everyone good? Okay, we do seem to be live. Guten morning to everyone. There was a lot of German in the chat this morning. Wow, lots of people already. Cool. Everyone's come to find out about the fire, have they? Unlike during the war where rations did contain drugs. Okay, I don't know what the conversation's about. Okay, let's say hi to folks. Is the stream working? YouTube, you're not behaving yourself. Yes, fire. Yes. Okay, let me do a quick roll call. Say hi to folks. Embodied Hobbyist, good morning. Andy Calloway, hello. Mr. Deathshaker. Oh, is that my email? Let me just turn my email off because it's pinging. Good morning, James. Good morning, Michael. Hey, Alex. And Johnny. And Azzy. Hello, Azzy. Amos is here. Hello. How's the States, mate? How's Facebook? You enjoying your new job? Amos has moved over to the States and he's working at Facebook. Yeah. He's stealing all of our datas. That's what he's doing. Good morning, David. Hey, Andy Mouse. Hey, Michael Hyde. Okay, two Michaels. I have to do Michael H, Michael B. Morning, Colin. Those displays were made in 1984. They were, I don't know, they're really old. I think so. They're really, really old. Hey, Adam. Sorry, I'm losing concentration. Hello, Crazy Roops. Hey, Peter. Hey, Simon. Hello, Andy. So 2 Andys now. 3 Andys. Ugh. Hey, Michael. So I do not expect the stream to start yet. 6:30. Isn't that when the stream's supposed to start? Hey, Zoom. Hey, HD. Facebook is a fun place to work, and the weather is fantastic here. Well, it's going to be 27 today, and it's going to be 33 tomorrow, and it was 20 yesterday, so the weather's pretty good here at the moment. Hey, Paul. Hey, all bye, also is not tonight. Oh, no. Bye, Paul. Can you ask Sylvia to make me a coffee before she goes? No, that's not nice. You can make me a coffee. No, actually. I'm not doing coffee this morning. I'm doing my flavoured hot water. Yes, Amos has turned to the dark side. Hey, Jim. Hello, Canada. Yeah, I'm an hour earlier. I'm still keeping my stream at 6:30 my time. That way it's earlier for everyone else. I could have made mine later and kept it the same. Maybe when the UK changes, maybe I'll make mine a little bit later, because I tell you what, I'm exhausted. I just this whole getting up. I get up at 4:50 a.m. in the morning to do a stream on a Wednesday. So yeah, I'm pretty wrecked already, and the stream's only just started. So hey, Cassio. Hey, name is difficult to pronounce, but hey, I'll give it a shot. Give it a shot. Okay, it's it's just Shakib? Can I call you Shaq? We'll call you Shaq. Oh, hey, did you call massive fire in Auckland? Yes, massive fire in Auckland. Wow, $700 million new convention centre. Is it uncontrollable? Yeah. It's fire season now, isn't it? Hello, Stephen. Hey, Marin. Clocks changed this weekend. Okay, cool. Hey, 3D Gusnar. Did I do a good job, did I? Well, there you go. I've got a terrible name, so I try to do a good job in pronouncing other people's names, but I'm not so good at it sometimes. So I've got some news to share. Yes, there was a fire. It was yesterday, and we're not talking about a little fire. Anyway, but we'll get onto that one. I've also got a stack of stuff to show of new things, and yeah, new things I haven't shown, things I've just got, things in boxes I haven't opened yet. There's not specifically going to be a mail video today, but I don't know if I've got enough concentration power today to actually work on a project. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. But I've got a whole bunch of stuff to show and talk about. I keep looking over there because I'm looking at all the stuff I've got to show. Tease a secret project. No. I don't have any secret projects. Nothing to tease at the moment, I don't think. I don't know. I'll have to go through I have to work it out in my head. Hey Joe, good morning. Hey Paul. Paul Curtains is here. So many Pauls, so many Andys. It's just like, yeah, so many Michaels. Morning Demetrius. So, okay, I'm going to wait a few more minutes before I talk about the fire, just to let a few more people join the stream, so I don't have to say it too many times, so I don't have to relive it too many times. Wait, wasn't a project that caught it? I'm going to wait, I'll talk about the fire in a moment. Hey Tetraprint 3D, hey Dean. I never have enough concentration power. I'm exhausted. I got to stop saying that on my streams, but the fact is it's 6:30 in the morning and I could put my head on the table and I could fall asleep and you could all watch me sleep on my stream. On my couch. Maybe I'll go lie down on my couch. Actually, I'm kind of full of stuff at the moment. Hit like if you support Crowley. Oh, don't say that because I won't get any likes. APA 102 LED panel children's clocks project updates. Now that you mention it. Wrong box. That's a really... Yeah, I'm over here. Hi. I've misplaced a box. My office is still upside down. Still. Where did I put that box? Okay, well. Wow. I need to take like 2 days and finish my office. I really do. And I haven't. And I keep looking at it and it keeps getting worse. And I keep thinking, the longer I put it off, the worse it's going to be. But I keep putting it off. So I did actually, I did get those PCBs made with my APA panels. I haven't built one. JLC didn't do a great job on the boards when they trimmed them. They've trimmed one of the edges really close. I think it's going to be okay, but it's definitely gone into the copper. I don't know where I put them. I honestly don't know where I put them. So I needed to design a 3D printed jig to put them in, to be able to put them in the pick and place machine. No, it wasn't a laser cutter fire. I've already had one of those. No, it was not a laser cutter fire. Okay, so it wasn't. Let's talk about the fire. It was not me. It wasn't me. It wasn't a project. It wasn't any of my tools. Hey, Mike. If I missed anyone, I apologize. It was, hey Ian, did I say hey Ian? Hey Gavin, good morning. It was not me, it was our fence, our house fence. We have our fence, one of our side fences joins into, let me go this way. So this is my house, side fence, and then there are neighbours here. So there's one neighbour on the left, right, left, whichever way this is for you guys, which way you're watching. So right in that intersection there, the fence was on fire. So I'm sitting in my office, like I'm at home. It smells like, often you can smell fire here, like people are either, they're burning off something, or I think there are a couple of houses around the area that still have some open fireplaces. So like occasionally you can kind of smell campy, fiery type smell, and so I could smell that for about half an hour or 40 minutes, and it was getting a bit much, but I couldn't see where it was coming from. And then when Yaz came home with the kids from school, I went inside, we were talking, and then we looked out the window out in the backyard, and there was smoke all through the backyard. And we ran out going, what the hell? And looked up, saw where the smoke was coming from, ran around the side of our house, and the fence was on fire. And we're talking about on fire. When I got there, the fire was just touching the side of our house. And so I ran and got the hose, and I couldn't even get within 2 meters of the fire with the hose. That's how big it was. Hey Renee, we'll talk about the fence, how it catches fire in a moment. And so I got the hose out. I started with the hose. Yaz called the fire brigade, and suddenly there were some guys climbing over the fence from the other houses, which I didn't recognize the guys, and they're screaming, you okay, you okay? And I'm going, no, and who are you guys? And they screamed out, we're the neighbours from the other side, from a street away. We saw the smoke, we could smell it, we got up on our roof to see where it was coming from, saw it, ran over to help. So one guy jumped in one house, because the neighbours were not home, but neither neighbour was home. So one guy jumped in one house, grabbed their hose. One guy jumped in the other house, I think they were brothers, grabbed the other hose. And the three of us were attacking the fire from 3 different directions, right? And getting soaked. We were getting soaked. And I was coughing, the smoke was just insane. And we got it mostly under control by the time the fire brigade got here. They got here within 3 minutes, 3-4 minutes the fire brigade were here. It was incredible effort by the fire brigade. They ran in with their hose and they took over, and they put the rest of it out. So it melted the rendering of the side of our house. That's if I would have been inside my office, because the blinds were closed. If I would have been inside my office, so Yaz was supposed to be at an appointment with Orly, which Orly didn't want to go to, and so they came home. If Yaz wouldn't have come home, and I would have been in my office with the blinds closed, then the house would have been on fire. By the time I got to the fire, it was no joke. It was 30 seconds away from the house being on fire. It melted the rendering. The flames were on the rendering of the side of our house. So lucky, I cannot tell you how lucky it was that Yaz came home unexpectedly, which made me come out of the house to go inside to find out why she came home early, because she was supposed to be out. And that's when we realised what it was. So, fireman, so what it was. So anyway, the fire brigade got under control. They got it out. They brought out the thermal camera. They were checking to make sure because it's all wood everywhere, right? Making sure that there was no more hot spots. They couldn't leave until that was all done. Trying to work out where the fire started. And the fire definitely started in in the corner, one of the neighbours in a planter box, a metal planter box. We can't work out how though, and the fire brigade couldn't work out how. It wasn't malicious. The neighbours weren't home. Neither neighbour was home. It wasn't malicious or suspicious. The guy's not a smoker. There wasn't cigarette butts in the planter or anything. The planter box is just in this case it was a big metal long tub that, with dirt in it, and you can put plants in it, you grow things in it. It could have been maybe, but it wasn't really a composty bin. Look, they don't know, they can't work out how it started. It was a warm day yesterday, warmish, starting to get warm, but not hot enough for combusting something. We don't know. We don't know. They recommended not to get the police down to have a look, because they honestly didn't think it was anything suspicious, but they don't know. Yeah, home of the spontaneous combustion fires. So we don't know. So we've got, so both the people next to us are renting, So we got to meet our neighbours, because both of them are new neighbours. One couple on the corner's only been there for 3 weeks. We haven't even met them yet. And the guy next to us has been there about 6 months, and we haven't met him yet either. So we've met all our neighbours, which is great, our new neighbours. They're both, kind of shocked. The owners on the corner, he came down as well, the owner of the house, the landlord, who we know. It'll all get taken care of. We need new fences, obviously. But I'm going to have to speak to the insurance company about the side of our house, because it actually melted the inside of the render. So although it's not a structural thing, still going to have to deal with it somehow. Any bushfires nearby? I don't know. I mean, the New Zealand's got fires at the moment. I don't think we've got any fires in Victoria at the moment. I'm not sure. I mean, we're getting into that season now. Was it 18650? Yeah. Look, okay. I'll admit it. I set up a solar. I set up a battery farm. No, I didn't really. We were just very, very lucky. Very lucky. And that whole side of the fence is near our hot water and gas system, so that would have been a disaster. That, within 3 meters of the side of the wall that almost caught on fire of the house was our gas hot water system. So, yeah, that would have gone kaboom. No, there was no. So interestingly, the fire was in the corner of these fences and as far away from all 3 houses as it could possibly be. It doesn't make any sense. We can't work out how it started. But it I was covered with soot. I was going to do really funny for my thumbnail. I was going to just take a photo of my face, with soot on my face, like I stank. We had to get out of our clothes and get them washed straight away, and it was just it was like a bonfire at a camp gone wrong. So at least it wasn't my fault. What happened, Simon? What? I lost my lighting manufacturing business with a major fire 15 years ago. Insurance never paid out. A lighting manufacturing, as in lights, as in light fittings and stuff. Really? And the insurance never paid it out? Why? What happened? Sorry if I've missed any comments. Sorry, I'll ask me again. Sorry if you asked me a question I didn't know and I didn't see it. Please ask me again. I should get a lottery ticket. No, I don't think I'm that lucky. Yeah, I mean, the pics make it look less interesting. I mean, it's a super tall fence. Right? It's like a 2-meter fence, and it was about a meter and a half of fence was on fire on our side, and about a meter of fence in the middle. I mean, it was pretty. It wasn't a campfire. It wasn't. It was. Yeah, the pictures are uninteresting. It looked much better when I didn't think to pull my camera out. Look, I ran up. I had 2 choices. I ran up to it and went, do I get the hose or do I get my camera? While I was watering it down, I thought to myself, oh, damn, I should have got my camera. But no, it was full on. The flames were 4 or 5 meters in the air, and it was like the flames were a meter out from the fence going up the side of our house. It was impressive. The damage doesn't look anywhere near as impressive as the fire did, let me tell you. Plastic planter liners full of compost in metal bins. Heat and self-combust here in the UK. Wow. The fence was wood. It's a wooden fence, and on one side of the fence, there's on the neighbour's side, there's a bamboo, I don't know, decorative stuff to make the fence look nice. I don't know. So it was all, it's all wooden and, fairly old wood, very dry. It went up I'd say to wife, time for barbecue. Well, it's funny because when the fireman was here, they were saying, I said, look, hey, we invited you over for a barbecue. And I said, yeah, unfortunately, we burn all the meat, burn all the steaks. Yeah, it wasn't a good joke. The fire guys were pretty good. But it was, it was pretty cool. It's quite exciting. It pretty much wrecked my whole day. Wrecked it in terms of all the stuff I wanted to get done. looked more interesting when it was on fire. Yeah, well, it's true. It did look more interesting when it was on fire. The roof is on fire. We don't need to water. Let the... Hey, John. Glad they didn't take offence. Ha, 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 ha. Just one fire truck came. But they got here really quick. Hey, James. Hello to anyone I haven't said hi to. Hey, Christos. Yeah, so that was the fire. So, like, I knew you would all think it was me that I set something on fire. I didn't. For a change, it wasn't me. I didn't set things on fire. So Chris wants to know who Bob is. So I wrote Bits and Bobs. Does everyone know what Bits and Bobs is? Because apparently Chris doesn't know. He knows what bits are, but not what bobs are. Is that? I'm pretty sure that's a UK expression. Bits and Bobs, or is that an Aussie expression? Bits and bots. I don't know what bots. It's the same thing. It just means stuff. Bits and Bobs just means stuff. No? Hey, Gadget Reboot. Good morning. Yeah, it just means this and that. I sell fire extinguishers and at one point had to ask fleet drivers what they would do if the car caught on fire. Uh-oh, what they say. Bits and Bobs. Yes, okay, was an old Brit coin. Oh, a bob. A bob was, yeah. Bobs equals odd pieces. Yeah, it just means odds and ends. Stuff, this and that, bits and bobs. I thought it was much more common, so that's why I used it. Bits and Bobs here. Yeah, Ian knows it. Hey Joe, the vice gives C on the evil eye as the story unfolds. I gotta say, it was on the wrong side of my laser cutter. It's the other side of my house. No, it was not me. It absolutely was not me. It's actually funny. I'm in the house. This is how it started. I'm in the house and Yaz says to me, "Are you laser cutting?" And I went, "No, why?" And we both turned around and looked out the backyard, and it was like the whole backyard was full of smoke. So it's the wrong end. My laser cutter was 20-30 meters away. Lights on the ceiling are sparking. Better take care of that. Jenna, the petrol, it's worth more. What? Oh, of the car. The answer was keep close and stay warm. Really? Wow. Okay. Odds and sods. Yeah, see, odds and sods I know. That's a UK thing. I'm pretty sure odds and sods. A shilling. Okay, so that's the fire. I got stuff to show. I'm going to show stuff. Lots of stuff. All varying things. Different things. Bits and Bobs time. It is Bits and Bobs time. It's also a headache time. I might have to go get some Panadol. I've got a bit of a bad headache this morning. Hey Leo. Good morning. So, I'm going to switch cameras. Now this is actually really... got my BitLooney badge today. Oh yeah, has everyone got BitLooney's badge? How cool does that look? Looks really cool. Oh, something I got to do before I forget. It's mailbag time. Yeah, it's not going to be it's going to be kind of it's going to be a show and tell more than a mailbag, I think. Although some of them I haven't opened, but I know what's inside them. Yeah, okay. But before we do that, I want to do something else. Hang on, just 1 second. I want to just bear with me 1 second. I want to share a YouTube channel. I told myself I had to remind myself to do this. I want to share a channel that I know many of you don't know about. And I'd like you all to go check it out. If I can find the link. Oh wow, YouTube changed their layout page again. 1 second. OCN is starting a new YouTube thing, opening mail. No, I'm not. No. Everyone hear about NordVPN getting hacked? Hey Helmet. Hey Dave Darko. That's a cute little emoji. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry about this. I should have been prepared. Never prepared. What can I tell you? Oh, come on. I subscribe to way too many channels, which is kind of weird because I always feel like I've got nothing to watch. I know that sounds crazy. Why can't I find this channel? Sorry folks, just give me a second. Wow. Like one day I'll learn how to use my computer. Here we go. So I don't know if many of you know about Emily's Electric Oddities. I'm going to post the link to Emily's channel. So Emily's a maker, and she does some really great stuff. And she's been on YouTube for a while. She's doesn't have many subs, like 1.1k subs, not a lot of view time, which is really unfortunate because she gets to work on some really great projects, really enjoyable videos that she makes. So yeah, I just want to do a shout out for Emily's channel. If you don't know who Emily is, check out her channel. She's been doing a lot of stuff recently with RGB LED panels and building, like, you know, those pixel purse things and working with Brian's matrix panels and stuff. Yes, Emily Valesco. Okay, I'm now airborne net 111. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Yeah, Emily's doing great stuff. Just I think that she's just undiscovered. And I mean, not that I've got such a big channel, but she's just undiscovered. And I really think that if you're not following her channel already, if you're not subbed, please. Yes, Vela Corpse at the moment. She's got on Twitter. She's got pictures of all the Halloween makeup she's doing on her face. But yeah, look, check out her channel. Watch her videos. She really needs some promotion. I feel like, I know there are lots of people that need promotion. Sure, I'm not trying to just pick out one, but yeah, please sub, but not just sub. Just like watch her videos. I think one of the issues that she has, and a lot of smaller channels have when they're trying to get to the monetization stage, is that she's got enough subs, but she doesn't have enough watch time, because there's a minimum of 4,000 hours you need to hit. So it's 1,000 subs and 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours of watch time before you're eligible for monetization. And it's not that she wants to be monetized so she can make money, because let's face it, no one makes money on YouTube, unless you've got 100,000 subs or more. But until your videos are monetized, YouTube, they say they don't, but they really don't promote non-monetized videos very well. So it's not about getting someone to be able to make money, it's about getting someone to a level where YouTube might start promoting their videos. So it'd be really, I'm asking a favor. I've only recently started talking to Emily, so yeah, I just think that if we can just get her watch time up, let's get her across the line if we can. That'd be awesome. Okay, that's it. Unless there's anyone else, any other channel that I don't know about that people want to let me know, I'm quite happy to talk about. Thank you, Dave Darko, for posting Emily's Twitter. Follow her on Twitter as well. She's really fun on Twitter, and also she responds, like, she engages on Twitter. Like, if you tweet to her, she'll tweet back, which is unusual, just because of all the noise on Twitter, and just because how busy people are. Get her in the chat someday. Also the Discord. Yeah, Monday she might join a stream here, I don't know, but maybe we'll have her on a MakerCast in the future. That'll be good. But yeah, just anyway, that's it. Okay, I'm going to now, let me switch cameras to this camera. It's not very bright. Let's get some more light. Let's turn the heater off. Wow, it's going to be 27 today, but it was freezing this morning. Yeah, I'd like to get her on the MakerCast. I believe she's aware of the MakerCast. So Maybe not with BitLooney. Why not with BitLooney? What? What did I miss? For those that subbed, thank you. Everyone binge watch your videos later. Yeah. Like, all we need is like 10 or 15 people to watch a couple of her videos, and we're going to like massively add to her watch time. You forgot to fix the overhead light? No, I didn't forget. Well, forget means that I intended to do it and then didn't do it. I never intended to do it. Yeah, out of mind, out of sight. So my lights in my office aren't really on that often. I'm either working with my blinds open on my desk here now, or those lights are generally off because they're above the pick and place machine. So yeah, I just don't remember that they're on. Okay, so let's talk about these. These are really cool. We need more light. And let's get a bit closer. So it's funny. So David Watts did a bit. Let's move these over. David Watts did a video on the 1414, which he released. Is that out of focus? So does everyone see David's new video? Hey, oi, Mr. Watts, you here? Oi. Ooh, Emily and Dean Hack Week have a podcast. Oh, do they? I didn't know that. Thank you, Dave Darko. I'm going to open that into a new window for later. Hope it doesn't start auto-playing though. Don't auto-play. Don't. No, pause. Hacker Week TV. How do I not know about Hacker Week TV? Holy moly. I can't believe it. Like, I don't know how many I've got. I'm gonna... Does it give me a count of how many... It should give me a count of how many subscriptions I've got, right? I'm pretty sure. Somewhere there's a count. Does it not give me a count of how many subs? People I'm sub to? No. Oh, here we go. So I'm just under 200 channels I've sub to. 200 channels. Holy moly. And I'm still finding new ones all the time. And here's David's. Thank you. Yes, so David Watts did a video on the 1414, and he got them up and running. And he was displaying some rude words, and it was such a great video. Gotta watch it to the end. Watch David's video to the end. I thought I was already subbed to Emily, but I wasn't. I think I've been unsubbed to channels before by YouTube. I don't know what the deal is there. Maybe they think I'm a bot. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So check out David Watts' video. It was really cool. It was quite enjoyable to watch, and he was showcasing the 1414, and I honestly I don't even know what the difference is. But so I got these from Alan K, who is in the chat sometimes. He's a mate of mine from Melbourne. So he actually mentioned these to me weeks ago. We were talking about some stuff, and he said, I'm sure I've got some of those bubble LED displays, 7-segment displays in my drawer at home. And so he went searching for them, and he found those three, and he found this one that's never even been opened. So these are obviously, they've never been used, but they were opened. Like the pins on them are completely, what's the word? Oxidized. They're going to need a bit of a clean. We think they're going to work. I don't know. And then this one's not even been opened before. This is a different brand, Lightronics. So you can see I'm not going to open it. I don't know if it's got any better value not open. It's the same. It's a 1416, but it's a different manufacturer. Yeah, it was I was enjoying his video, but then right at the end, like that was David Watts gold. Absolutely. If I missed David joining the chat, someone ping me and let me know he's joined the chat, because it was gold. It was really, really good. Really enjoyed it. Anyway, so then Alan rocked up with these like an hour after I watched David's video, which is really cool. But he also rocked up with these. And I'd seen stuff like this before. I mean, obviously on David's video, and then Dave Darko. Sorry, I should mention Dave Darko did a Hackaday blog post project using, was it a 1414 as well, Mr. Darko? I think it was. Quite a while ago. So I mean, these are not. I mean, these are super old. But in terms of like, look what I'm showing you guys. I mean, Dave Darko played with one of these. I think it was it 2016 or something, like ages ago. Not ping and oi oi. Okay, or just do an oi oi. Hello, Felix. Hi to anyone who I've missed who's come into the chat. Dave Darko's going. You don't remember when you did it? Hey, Id. Anyway, Dave Darko did one of those as well. But have you guys seen these? Hang on, I've got a drink. Some weird blender box somewhere. I must try and find them tomorrow. So yeah, these are they're Toshiba 31. Is it 316, 361? God, I can't remember. I can't even read it in this lighting. Toshiba, is it 306? So these are little digits. They're only a single digit. How much closer can I get? They're very hard to see. I'm looking at the screen. I'll bring up a data sheet in a second. Okay, there we go. You see that? There's just one digit in each. Dave Darko's one wasn't just a week ago, was it? No. It's a merge project now, something displays on Arduinos. I thought Dave Darko's was ages ago. They look like a bigger Till 311. There might be. I'm not seeing the Till 311. Hey, Medio4. So I have to learn maths again. Happy streaming. Okay, go enjoy learning maths. So they're a single digit, right? But what's interesting about them is, I'm not sure if you can, I'm trying to get the lighting right. Can you see just there? Each segment is made up of multiple little LEDs. I think there are 3 or 4 in each one. And I believe you can actually address, well, I don't know. It's kind of weird how they work. So what's unique about these and these, for those that don't know, is they have all the electronics inside to drive them. So in the case of these ones, you basically tell it what alphanumeric character display. It's got all the characters built in, and so you just say, I want to display an F on digit 2, and it displays an F. You don't have to actually go and work out what the different segments are to set the segments on. Oh, hi Yaz. Starting fire say. Wow, was that Flynn, was it? Nice one, Flynn. Oh, my family. Oh boy. So yeah, and the same with these ones, but what it looks like with these, I believe you can tell it what to display, but these have a built-in counter. So you can just say, like, start a counter and just say ticket, and it counts all the way to you know, from 0 to 9, then back to 0 again. And it'll also pass on a like, if you've got multiple of them joined together, it'll tick the next one. So it's quite an interesting thing, and so these can be driven from 3.3 to 5 volts, but these are TTL, so they can only be driven 5 volts, which means to play with one of these, I need to either solder up a bunch of level shifters, or I need to go and find like a Nano or an Uno somewhere in my office that's got 5 volt logic, because obviously pretty much everything I play with these days is 3.3 volts. So I'm going to need to level shift it. But I'm probably going to save these for a video and play with these on a video, because doing a quick look at the data sheet yesterday when Alan dropped these off, they're a little complex to understand. Well, they just need some experimentation, I guess. Defo 2015. Yeah, it was early. Yeah, and it was a 1414. Thank you for the link, Dave. So yeah, so these aren't new. These have been covered before. I'm still gonna have a play with them. I need to find out again what the difference is between the 1414 and the 1416. I don't know, but these kind of really caught my eye. I just love the look of them. So I'm gonna have a play with those on a video. I'll save that for a video. There is a tiny Pico breakout board with a level shifter. There is, but it's only got 3 pins level shifted, and these I need, I believe it's 8 pins. Between 7 and 8 pins I need for these. I mean, there's a lot of pins on the back, obviously, as you can see, and it is breadboard friendly. But yeah, and so all of the pins need to be 5 volt. Shout out to F, please. A real one? Do you want like a hey Flynn, or do you want a? Sorry everyone. Hey Flynn! Could you hear that? Sorry about that. So speaking of my breakout board, the level shifter, these are my final ones. So I've built just my first panel, and they work great. So I ended up going with a level shifter, with a voltage divider driving the level shifter. Here, I got rid of the AND gate, and these are working great. And I've now done new custom base for them, and you might be able to see maybe if I can get the lighting right. No, well there we go. Look at that I/O expander on the back. Hey James. Anyway, I mean it's just for shits and giggles, and I redesigned the base to make sure there's enough room that you can solder the headers on, because they come with headers separately. You can solder the headers on without having to take the base off, and they work great. And so I gave one of these to Matt Trentini on Monday, and I also sent one out to Mike, who's in the chat here, or he was before. He might be on the way to work. And he's writing the MicroPython driver for me, which is great, because I've been writing the Arduino library, or trying to write it, been a bit busy. So Mike's taking care of the MicroPython side as well. So yeah, I've got cards for them. Oops, out of focus. Great. And they're bagged. I started making and bagging, and I was going to actually make some on my stream today, but I don't know. I'd like to pick and place them, or at least some of them, but there's only a few parts I can pick and place with them, because I'm back to making tiny picos. I set up my pick and place machine again. I officially ran out of tiny picos. I knew it was going to happen, and it happened, and so I've made a few hundred more. So yes. But yeah, my breakout board, it's only got three pins for level shifting, so that's kind of not. I can't drive one of these, unfortunately, with it. Shifts and Eagles, never heard of that before. Shifts and Eagles, what Shifts and Eagles? What did I miss? Hey Chris Rays, electronic parts arouse me so much like nothing else. Where's the next black market for the really hot? Okay. It's getting a bit steamy in the chat right now. Branded standoff. Yeah, well, it just says, I mean, there's no Tiny Pico branding on it, but I don't know, I just did it for fun. It's not overly readable. Hey, Jerry. Peer pressure failed, in which case? What did I miss? To drive the inputs of the display, 3.3 volts should work. Just do not collect 5 volt outputs to any of the 3.3 volt inputs. Are you sure, Helmut? I went through the data sheet, and it was pretty clear that it was TTL only. So I didn't want to wreck any of them. It's not like I can replace them easy. Apparently they're still available for sale. Like Mauser have them, but they're order only. Emily's at work. We couldn't convince her to join us. Oh. I said Shifts and Eagles. When did I say Shifts and Eagles? Wow. Someday I'll catch a live stream from the start. Me too, Gary. Me too. Oh, did she? Cool. Okay, I'm glad. I said shits and giggles. Yeah. Eagles. When did I say Eagles? I'm just looking through the chat. I'm trying to work out what I said. Have you ever used sunlight readable LEDs? They sure get hot. No, I haven't. I have not. Okay, let's move on to the next thing that I got. So yeah, they're pretty cool. I'm just put them back in the foam so I don't bend the pins by accident. They came on this piece of pink foam. So I will play with these one day. I don't know when. I was having a good think about the state of my project list today, and I'm just thinking I'm taking on way too much stuff at once. I gotta stop doing that. I think chat was sanitizing for you. Okay. Yay, chat. Hey, Rob. How you doing? What's the name of the red display? So it is a... Right, I'm going to have to... where's my other glasses? I'm going to have to get close. Hang on. 1 second. It's a TIL 306. Texas Instruments. TIL 306. So I did have the datasheet open, but I don't know where I put it. I think I've got it all the way down here. Right, here it is. I'm just going to paste it to the chat. So this is a datasheet for it. Hey, Andy Day has minimum high input as 2 volt, but supply minimum. Where did you see that? Maybe we're looking at a different datasheet. Or maybe I just missed it. To be fair, while I was looking at this data sheet yesterday, my fence was on fire. That was the last thing I was doing. Because I was going to try to work out if I wanted to build one of these on the stream today. And I was looking at this data sheet just before. Operating voltage, input voltage, supply voltage. Let me just change. Datasheet page 5. Here's the datasheet. Datasheet page 5. Where is... Right, so I did a quick scan here, and all I'm seeing is recommended operating conditions. What's Electron Ash doing? The fence is on fire. Yeah, there's no point telling me in typing when I can't see. You didn't even at me, so I didn't even notice that the fence was on fire. So where's the say minimum 2 point? I'm losing my mind. High logic level, low logic level. Input high, above 2 point V, but reality is somewhere between 1 point. Oh, right here. Okay, I got it. Interesting. Okay. Right. Here, minimum 2, minimum 2.4. Well, there you go. So maybe I could. But I have other stuff to show first. We don't need to let the fancy fence just burn. No, I didn't know. We don't want the fence to burn. Just some through input pins, software TTL outputs. Okay. Well, yeah, I need to do some more research on that. I don't particularly want to destroy them, as I said, because I've only got 3 of them. I don't even know if they work either. Alan doesn't know if they work. They've been sitting in his drawer for a decade. Oh, hey Julian, what did you miss? Well, my house almost burnt down. You missed that, but that was yesterday, so that's fine. So my house almost burnt down, and we were just discussing very quickly these goodies that I got from my friend Alan that I'm going to have a play with at some point. And I was about to move on to the next thing I got. What? I'm limping back from football. I need to catch up when I get back. Limping back? Oh no, Mr. Watts got injured. Oi oi, oi oi's injured. Is it a sore ankle, or did you get a leg to the groin? I hope it's not a groin injury. I hope it's not osteopubis. Oh, there's the ping. I told everyone to ping me when Mr. Watts came into the chat. Look familiar, Mr. Watts? Anyway, we'll wait till you're back. Apparently Sienna is setting fire to fences, though. Yeah, no, it wasn't me that set fire to fences, but yes. Yes, there was a bit of a fire at the house yesterday. Started on my neighbour's side, but yes. Anyway, okay, so, what's next? Just quickly, I'm just going to show you a bunch of stuff. Some of it's open, some of it's not. Does anyone play with any PyCom stuff? So I was at on Monday, I went into the city to a PyCom event. It was a day event, which I didn't stay the whole day. It was basically a PyCom, MicroPython introduction thing. And so this is one of the PyCom boards. This is a PyPy. They do a whole range of different boards. Basically, all of their products revolve around MicroPython, but all of their stuff revolves around communication. So like this particular board is called a PyPy because it's got 5 different networks on it. That old chestnut, blame the neighbours. Well, in this case, it did start on the neighbour's side, even though the neighbours weren't home. The fire brigade confirmed that, but we still don't know why. So this particular board has got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, LoRa, Sigfox, and LTE Cat M1 and NB1. So look at that, like it is nuts. So inside here is the LTE, the NB and the Cat M1 with all the electronics and radios. There's a SIM for the NBT network, and inside here is an ESP32 and for the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and a whole bunch of other stuff that controls Sigfox and LoRa. It's got a chip antenna, plus you can use an external antenna, and it actually comes with all the different antennas. We didn't start the fire. No, I didn't start the fire. Let's all sing, shall we? And then they've got a breakout board for it. Anyway, so I just want to show, I don't know if anyone's seen these before or not. It's my first PyCom board. It was part of the event. So we sat there, plugged them in and learned how to program them and stuff. I was really impressed with they're really well done, really nicely made boards. So, except as you can see, there's no USB on it. So the USB is on this breakout board, batteries on the breakout board, the SD card. So the whole idea is that you connect to them remotely. You do over the air with them using their over the air software. So anyway, I just want to show you that. That's pretty cool. I don't know if I'll do anything with it. Probably not. I've got enough MicroPython hardware already. Gardens don't catch fire. They're all soggy. Yeah, well, it's not in Australia right now. It's not. Interesting, the antenna is in a similar position to Tiny Pico. I guess the optimal place reference to the ground plane. Yeah, that is the although there's supposed to be more clearance, but generally that's where an antenna is supposed to sit. Is either in the center or in the top corner on the edge of a board, perpendicular to the ground plane. That's pretty tight. But as you can see, they've got the matching network over here. Interesting configuration of the matching network as well. They're using just a half L that then goes into a split, so you can split between the external antenna and the chip antenna. But you need to move a resistor to do it. It's not a digital switch, which is, I believe, which is a bit annoying. Johnny's working on NB IoT board just now. Cool. I've got another, which I've never even shown, and you know what? I've never shown this, I don't think, and I've never even plugged it in. I've got one of the Arduino ones. I was at an Arduino event. I met Massimo, and got given one of these. I won one. This is the MKR, the 1500 NBT. So there it is, Arduino. So MKR, NB 1500. Can everyone read that? So I haven't played with this either. This has got an ARM processor on it and does NB IoT. But I've actually got a SIM for it somewhere. But I think the SIM's run out. It was only a 6-month SIM. I just don't really have any need to play with any of the NB IoT stuff. It's an interesting technology. I won it, yes. They were doing a quiz, asking questions, and I answered first, and I won one. It's probably just a really good microcontroller to play with anyway, but I've got a stack of microcontrollers to play with. So yeah, I've had the like NB-IoT stuff for a while. I just don't have a need to do anything with it. So while we're speaking of new hardware, new microcontrollers, so I got myself one of these. I'm going to have to zoom out for this one. I've not even opened it yet. Silk screen on the side of the headers. How good would that be on the I/O expander? Silk screen on the side of the headers. What are you talking about? Oh, well, sure, but how am I going to do that? Mike, this is Mike who's doing the MicroPython port. I thought SIM 800 module from China a few weeks ago. I have no idea why. Stupid thing is our cellular partner does not offer here in Sweden. We have to use their competitor. Are you using Vodafone? Vodafone is apparently, I found out on Monday, was probably the biggest. Look at this, everyone. Hey, Robert. So yeah, I got something else. NXP. So this is the IMX RT 1010. I probably can't even read that. Let me take it out of the box. Ooh, what is that? Packing list. Okay. Ooh. So, Hexer.io have already done a video on this, an opening video. So I've not even opened it. So I got one for me, I got one for Matt, and one for Andrew, who's a Melbourne guy. We're going to play around with MicroPython on it. But this is obviously like a discovery board, right? But this is the chip. So for those that don't know, NXP have a new range of microcontrollers out that they call crossover controllers. So this microcontroller, let me go over here, is an ARM microcontroller. If it'll focus. So focused. And it's 500 megahertz. It's a busy board, yeah. It's a discovery board. It's a prototype, like it's designed to break out every feature of the chip. So this is 500 megahertz, and it is going to sell for $1 US, I believe. This board was $10.10 as part of the 1010. So it's an IMX RT 1010. Wait, let me see it. Let me get a link. Let me get a link for you. It's pretty insane because what they're basically doing is it's not going to let me paste this link because it's too long. Really? Why do I need all that rubbish on the top of the link? Hang on 1 second. Can I get rid of that? Let me see if I can get rid of that. It's got some referral link or something to it. Right, okay, just that one. Try that again. There we go. Yep, the link's coming. So there it is. So this, let me just actually, let me switch. This is kind of interesting. I mean, obviously, I play with ESP32s, sure, but I like ARM. Like I've been using SAMDs. Never really got into STMs yet. So for those that know the Teensy 4.0, the Teensy 4.0, I believe, is using the RT 1060. I think it is, which is 600 megahertz. Crazy chip. So this is the 1010 is, it's an LQFP 80 Cortex M7 500 megahertz. Can everyone see that? Let me see if I can make it bigger. It's got 128 kilobyte of SRAM, a whole bunch of hardware with it, and then as the chips get bigger, they get more RAM, more hardware, all the way up to some of these ones like this. The 1170 has got a built-in 2D GPU, right? I mean, and two 10100 gigabit capability. Like, it's nuts, these chips. Well, who's going? Dave's going? See you, Dave Darko. Thanks for joining. But the interesting thing about this is its price. It's going to be, my understanding is it's going to be a $1, like US $1 chip for a Cortex M7 at 500 megahertz. And that's just crazy. Like, that's, you know, yeah, like it's just nuts the level that microcontrollers are going to. I was looking for a sock with 3 CAN and the 1060 had it. Hey Bruce, so are you going to go the 1060? I mean, it's BGA, yay. I know Christos would like it if I go BGA. See, there you go, it's a BGA. Yeah, $1. $1 for a 500 megahertz M7 is just crazy. I don't know if they're actually available yet to buy or not, you know, I mean, obviously in bulk, I'm sure. So it's a pretty meaty board. I don't know when I'm going to have a chance to play with it. But yeah, there's a couple of guys going to see if we can get MicroPython up and running on it, which will be nice and interesting because it'll be a pretty meaty board to run MicroPython. Oh. Okay, we might be back. Might be back. I hope we're back. Wow. I'd really like to stop using OBS if I can. What happened? OBS died. Had to restart it. Sorry about that. Another fire. I hope we're back. Are we back? I think we're back. Can everyone see me? Hello? Anyone? We're back? Sort of back. Wow. I don't know what to tell everyone. I really don't. Just OBS. Okay, let's move on. Let's do this quickly. One of the dinosaurs is missing. Yeah, Dave Darko left and OBS died. So, you know, you work it out. You do the math. Where's my knife? Lost my, oh, here it is. Okay, well, I'm just going to quickly jump into the next thing I got. I'm not even going to show you that. I've been waiting for a while for this. I don't think the person that sent it to me is on the stream today. I have to keep looking at OBS now just to make sure that it's not dying. So, this I've been waiting for forever. Really forever. Change my resolution. Just refresh your browser. If you don't, if it's not high res, redaction a bit see-through, that's okay. Don't worry. Whatever. It's fine. Oh wow. Wait, this can't be all of it. can see my address. That's okay. Whatever. Holy moly. Okay, it might be all of it. So this is... Finally. Whoa. One bit squared. Everyone guess what it is? Just refresh your browser if the resolution is low. Ooh, lots of headers. This is my icebreaker. From One Bit Squared, which I backed on Crowd Supply forever ago. Yes. I don't think Peter's here. It's my icebreaker, finally. So the hold up for me was I ordered the version that had this panel, and there were some issues getting the drivers and the panels. Check this panel out. This is insane. Whoa. That is a 64 by 64 RGB panel. Look how small it is. Look how dense it is. That is just crazy. So, the thing that I'm excited about with this, is that even in focus? I hope it's in focus. Interesting, it doesn't sit flat. Oh right, it's the mounting points. So, yeah, it's an amazing panel. So these panels were custom made for Peter, I believe. Is it a bit broken? No, where's the panel broken? What? Don't tell me that. Oh. Yes, it is. The panel's broken. Oh no. Can everyone see that? Oh. Yep. Damn. I don't know if it's going to light up. I don't know if they're busted or if... Oh no, they're busted. Oh no. Let me see if I can focus that. Lucky Peter's not here on the chat. 2 pixels, Apple charging you extra 3. Yeah. Oh, I've got an Apple story to tell you, guys. Wow, remind me, I've got an Apple story. I need to tell you before. No, that's not going to focus. Sorry. Oh, there you go. Look at that. They are smashed off. Ah. And this was the hold up as well. So this is going to be my journey into learning FPGAs, because basically I bought it with all the accessories. So like for instance, this is a HDMI breakout here, and all the bits and pieces, because part of the appeal with this particular board is Peter's written a complete like learning series about it for getting into, you know, it's not just here's an FPGA and here's some videos, like work it out. It's like he's got a whole, you know, from start to, you know, getting started all the way through training to learn how to, you know, do all sorts of stuff, including up to like HDMI and driving those panels. So I've been waiting for this because this is going to be my getting into FPGA stuff. And I really, really want to. Like, I've been wanting to for quite a while. Not that I want to be manufacturing stuff with FPGAs necessarily, but I want to learn. Like, part of this journey is about learning. Yeah, so many projects, so little time. Hey, Ray. Yeah, it's a 62 by 64 panel. That's not 64-bit squared. Can you explain the purpose of an FPGA in a nutshell? So an FPGA is it's a field programmable gate array. So inside an FPGA, inside a chip, is basically... This is really oversimplifying stuff, right? It's basically hundreds, thousands, millions of logic gates that you can program the chip to do certain things. So it's like writing software, but it's at the hardware level. So you're designing it to do things by manipulating gates. And so you can program an FPGA. FPGAs come in all different sizes. In terms of how many gates and latches and all sorts of stuff they have inside them. But basically you can implement hardware in it, right? not just software, like where software emulates things. Like when your software is running on a microprocessor or on a processor, it's telling the processor what to do, but it's basically the software telling the processor to do something. But with an FPGA, you're physically implementing hardware. So when you program it, tell it to do something, it's actually changing the hardware physically inside, and which means it's super fast. So FPGAs are used all over the place in places you wouldn't even realize. They're not new, they've been around for a very long time, but recently they've become bigger and cheaper and easier to work with because there's a lot of open source tools coming out now. So you program them in things in like languages like VHDL and what's the other? There's two, VHDL and lost it off the top of my head right now. Sounds like a film director. Sion Scott Julian. What? It's hardware programming. Is it a one-way change? No, you can redo it, reprogram it. You can, whatever. Verilog. Thank you very much, Verilog. No, it's not permanent. So some chips, so generally it works with external flash. And so when the board boots up, the flash, like the FPGA, when you shut it down, the FPGA loses its programming. When you turn it on, the flash reprograms the FPGA. You can get some FPGAs that have the flash built in, but a lot of them work off external flash. I don't know why I'm showing you that when it's inside the bag. So like you can see here that there's some flash. I believe that's the flash. And yeah, it just means you can implement solutions in hardware, and they're massively fast. Like way faster than running stuff in software. Does it run at constant speed irrespective of what it's doing? Well, it kind of. It's hard to explain, but like so you can get for this FPGA, for this particular chip, you can get someone's written a RISC-V core, so it can actually be a RISC-V. Like someone's actually written a RISC-V core that runs MicroPython, so you can use some of your chip to, like, you can program a Motorola. Like people have programmed Amigas on them, like 6800s inside them. Basically, you can take any hardware logic and you can build it inside an FPGA. It's pretty cool. That's not even touching the surface. Yeah, so a lot of the cheaper ones, the reason they become a lot more accessible now is because they're cheaper and they use external flash. Is there any FPGA with analog elements? I don't know, Julian. Maybe some other people here do. Like I wouldn't think so because it's basically digital logic inside. Some woman created a Commodore 64 and FPGA. Yeah, there's stacks of projects like that. There's the Mini-MIG, which is the one version of the Amiga emulator in FPGA. Yeah, there's all sorts of yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like I'm not really looking at learning, getting to the level where I'm learning how to build a CPU in Logic. But like for instance, James Sharman's like video, he's making his pipeline CPU, right? And he's building it out of discrete logic. When he's done, he could then go get an FPGA and re-implement the whole thing inside an FPGA if he wanted to. Wow. So that was pretty disappointing, the screen, wasn't it? Damn. Oh well. I'll let Peter know. The max frequency of the design depends on quite a few factors. The tick, the specific chip, the amount of logic, but you can get larger designs. Yeah. Yeah, Jerry did a Commodore 64. I don't know if she did it in... Yeah, it would have been an FPGA, I guess, back then. Can an FPGA run MicroPython? No, not specifically, because it's not a processor, but you can implement a processor inside it that can run MicroPython. So, yes, so people have actually designed a RISC-V processor that runs inside an FPGA, and then you can load MicroPython on the RISC-V processor and run MicroPython. And then it doesn't take up the whole FPGA, so then you could, for instance, implement other things inside the FPGA, like you could, implement hardware drivers for talking to screens or whatever you want to do, and have your MicroPython on the RISC-V talk to other bits of the FPGA to do output. Like it's crazy. And the bigger the FPGA, the more you can squeeze inside it. No, they're not all the same speed. They're not all the same capabilities, like in terms of the amount of like gates that they've got. It's not like me talking about it for 5 seconds doesn't do it justice. I don't know, because I was in an article about empowering women in the technology industry. Okay. FPGA for fun. Never heard of that. Okay, cool. So you can fend off pieces of FPGA for different tasks. Absolutely, it's just a whole bunch of logic. You decide how you want to implement, how you want to segment it, and how you want to implement things. I mean, technically, on a big FPGA, and when I say big, I'm talking about not just the footprint, but the capabilities. There might be enough logic inside there to implement multiple, CPU types. A tiny Pico FPGA shield. No, what for? Why would... No, two different things, microcontrollers, FPGAs, So Greg Davil's LED cube that he's working on, he's building his own custom panels that run the same as the normal panels do, and then he's not using a microcontroller to run them. He's running them through an FPGA. The FPGA does all the talking to the panels to tell the panels what to do, and then he's using a micro to talk to the FPGA to say, display this picture, or micro, or a Raspberry Pi, or whatever. So he tells the FPGA, this is the data you're putting on, and then the FPGA grabs that data and works out how to display it and pumps it out to the screens. Super, super fast. Do you have to program them in a field? In a field of gates, yes, you need to stand in a field of gates, or sit in a field of gates. One can mimic a 328 mount. Yes, you can implement pretty much anything, because like if you think about it, a microcontroller. I mean, okay, so let's talk about the processor part of a microcontroller, because like a microcontroller is it's a processor with a whole bunch of peripherals, right? And yes, you can implement the whole thing if you wanted to, because ultimately inside the silicon is just a whole lot of that's what's inside a chip. But normally you can't reprogram a chip. Like you go to a fab and they make the chip for you. But the design of the chip is basically just millions of transistors inside and logic gates and all sorts of stuff. You could design your own computer and write software for it. Exactly like James has done with his pipeline project, right? Like, except he created with a whole bunch of discrete logic on breadboards, which he's moving over to PCBs. I mean, Julian's built a, breadboard computer before. All they're doing is building it up of lots of chips that have logic on them, logic gates. Yeah, so there's Z80, as Electronash said, Z80, 6502. Someone's done 6510 as well, I believe. 6800. I mean, there's stacks of the, and then RISC-V's been done. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Warning, time for me to go. Bye, Adam. Okay, so Adam's going to go. The stream might crash. I hope not. This is me getting home from work just in time for a mention. Yes, so James, we're all expecting you, once you finished your CPU, pipeline CPU, to implement it inside an FPGA. 6510 is kind of 6502, kind of not. A little bit beefier than a 6502, but yes. You'd start from a 6502, I guess, if you get an FPGA and someone provides me the flash's contents for, say, some CPU, I can use it without knowing how to make it myself. No, not really. You don't plug it into Arduino and then program it. No, it's not quite that simple. There'd be a lot more learning involved. Yeah, like it would have to be the exact Verilog or VHDL for your particular board, for your particular chip, with all of its characteristics and stuff. So yeah. But yes, it's well, yeah. It could be that easy once you know a bit more about FPGAs. Why not cook it up from homemade FET? Okay, I don't know. It's great for emulating old specialized gaming hardware. It's also just good for making very specialized, like modern task hardware. I mean, ultimately, HDMI driver, just an FPGA. Like you could basically send anything to the chip and pump it out onto a HDMI device. Like it's which is a pretty modern use for it. He's got the new Arduino IDE going. Not me. I'm glad they're doing it, but not me. So I got something else to show. I think I mentioned I was getting one of these. Better do it before the stream dies. Look what I got. I got a TS100. Finally. Did I mention it last week on my stream? I think I mentioned it on my stream. Anyway, I got it. I've not opened it. I thought I'd open it now. Ooh. Good sticker. QC pass. It wasn't even stuck down. So I got it with 2 chips. Are they the chips I ordered? I hope so. I got it with a TS1, and I think I got a B2, TSB2. What's that? A sticker? What do I need a sticker for? And then how do I get this out? It's inside the box. No one's gonna like the color I got, by the way. How do I get this out? Hang on 1 second. Get out. Oh, maybe it doesn't come out. Maybe I'll just open it. Okay, sorry, I thought it came out. It doesn't come out. That's the colour I got. Ooh, what's that? Ooh, what's that? Okay, let's look at these goodies. Is that the orangey one? Yeah, well, I don't know. It's, I think they called it gold. Ooh, it's open. Okay, oh, it just popped open. Okay. I think they call it gold. I'm not sure. I didn't really care about what the colour was, to be honest with you, and it was the cheapest one I could find. I bought it from eBay, but I bought it locally. It was the same price as buying it overseas. Don't forget to install Raylim firmware. I don't know anything about TS100s. That's really light. I thought it'd be heavier. I don't know anything about them. I mean, I know Julian loves his and Brian loves his. Is that copper? No, well, I thought they called it, I mean, it looks coppery, but I thought they called it gold. And I also bought, I know everyone's going to tell me I need to get a really soft cable for it. I know. And I will, I guess. But I got, oh, wow, this is massive. Is this like second hand? Maybe not, I don't know. Yeah, that's going to be terrible. I got a power supply. I don't want to run it off USB. So I got myself a power supply for it. And it was sold as a power supply specifically for the TS100 with a soft cable, but I don't know if that's soft or not. Do it backwards, make it work FPGA, then build it from the screw logic. Okay. So yeah, Brian was telling me that you definitely want a soft cable to be able to connect to the TS100. I want to run this off power. Oh no, your mains is that not good to mainsify it? Colors not affect soldering quality, they work great, 18 volt supply, bit limited, 12 volt. Want me to post the link? Yes please, Tetra 3D print. Can you post a link to that firmware? I didn't even know I had to update the firmware. This is obviously not plugged in right now, but I wanted to see whether this was going to be flexible enough. Like if it's going to be like too rigid to get in my way. And yeah, that's possibly a bit terrible. Thank you for the link. You need to run it off solar power like Julian does. No, he runs it off battery, I think. Silicon tattoo cables. Okay, I'm going to have to... Yep. Plug keeps popping out if the LED is too stiff. Okay, the LED is too... yeah, lots of reviews on the TS100. I wanted it because I need more irons around me. Like I work at different places now, different desks, but I've only got the one station, and I might get myself another station, but I wanted something that was portable-ish. So this power supply, what is this power supply? 24 volts, 5 amps. Ooh, that's my printer. So 24 volts, 5 amps. Is 24 volts okay to run this thing on? I hope so. Use the laptop PSU 19.4. Lots of... Just reading all the chat. You don't have to update, but the Reliant firmware is good. Okay, cool. Julian was just saying he only uses solar to power his iron. Yeah, I don't have... I want to set up something solar here at some point. I don't have... Okay, well, and I assume that I have to unscrew this to put the tip in. Let's get closer. Is that correct? So what is this? Why do I need a ground lead? Anyone? Why do I need my ground myself when I'm using it? Do I really have to ground myself? I hope not. Andy Mouse using the same supply. Okay, cool. We shall call who Iron Man? Not me. I'm not Iron Man. Look how late to the party I am. It comes with extra screws. Is that so in case I lose one? So I assume I unscrew it here. Is that right? To get the tip in? Do I just make it loose? Which tip do I want to use? I want to try the super fine one. Whatever you do, don't mount it on the fence. That's funny. There's no such thing as ESD. Oh wait, I was going to tell you something. I said to you before I need to tell you a story. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story about the Apple Store while I'm doing this. Okay? So I've got a 2016 MacBook Pro. The one I'm using right now is a 2018. I've got a 2016 MacBook Pro. And for those that, you know, everyone's going to give me shit about it, whatever. So I just plug it in like this, right? How hard do I have to push it? Maybe I haven't unscrewed it enough. So there was really terrible butterfly keyboards. Yeah. So my key, I think I showed it at one point, or maybe I tweeted about it. So my keys started to stop working, and one of my keys actually came off, right? Anyway, so Apple have got a repair program. I can't talk and do things at the same time. I want to show you this story. It's really good. It's really, really good. So Apple have got a repair program. Basically, you take the notebook in. There's a 3-year program. It's just running out now. Like end of 2019 was the last I could get my machine fixed. Bye, Electron Ash. Catch you later. And so I took it in there, and they said, yeah, no problem. So they replaced the keyboard and basically the whole top panel, right? So I get a new top panel of the Mac, keyboard, brand new trackpad, brand new all of it, right? And so I took it in last week. I get a phone call on Sunday saying, hey, look, your machine's ready, but just want to let you know we've had a slight problem. So we replaced your keyboard and everything else. It's perfectly fine. But when we went to plug it back in, so the guy that actually did the work called me, right? Said I accidentally damaged the connector for the Touch ID button. I said, oh, okay, right, so how do you fix that? And he goes, okay, so we've ordered a replacement motherboard because we need to replace the whole motherboard, basically. And one's coming in, and we'll get it fixed. There's no charge to you, obviously, that's our fault, and we'll, get your machine back next week. And I'm thinking to myself, what? So this guy went to replace my keyboard. This is like a guy at the Apple repair center, right? Like an Apple employee, went to replace my keyboard as part of this upgrade program that is costed at about, Apple's fees, at about, $1,600 for all the replacement they did, which is free of charge for me. And then, as he went to reassemble it, damaged the logic board, and now they have to replace a $2,600 logic board for free. Look behind you, I'm pretty sure my iron's not plugged in, but thank you. How crazy is that? So what's nice is I'm getting my MacBook back with a brand new warranty on the logic board and the keyboard, and basically my screen was in perfect condition, and the only thing that's going to be the same is my screen and the outside of my case, and everything else about the machine is going to be brand new, because as you know, the logic boards come with RAM and SSDs and GPU soldered on the board, so they have to replace my logic board, and there was a top of the range 2016 model, so 1 terabyte of RAM, or in that case 1 terabyte SSD, 16 gig of RAM, that was the max they had at the time, and whatever the 580 RX 580 GPU. They have to replace the whole thing. So it was nice that he let me know. Like, he rang me and he was really nice about it, and he apologised, and he said, look, do you want your machine back in the meantime while the board comes in? I said, no, just keep it and, give it back to me when it's fixed. But how expensive is that? Like, that just cost Apple, like, the cost of a brand new Mac, like, because of a mistake that this guy made. Logic board will be a refurb, not new. I get a full warranty on it. I don't care if it's a refurb. I get another 12-month warranty on the Logic board. So, whatever. And as long as it's the same spec board, as long as it's got the same stuff on it, then I know they'll survive. But, like, what an expensive accident. That's all. Like, I was in a bit of shock, because that's, like, a really expensive accident. Honestly, imagine if I had to pay. Well, I never would have paid for it. At that point, I just would have got myself a new machine. Hope I took it back. No, the machine has nothing on it. I wiped it before I took it in there. It's not my main work machine. This is the one I'm using now as my main work machine. For now, anyway. It's only 1/16 of a new Mac. Not really. But anyway, yeah. So all up, it was like they've replaced $3,500 worth of stuff on a $6,500 Mac. It's pretty crazy. No, it doesn't cost them. I'm just saying, but that's what they, when they itemize the pricing of what it is, that's what it is. It doesn't matter what it costs them. The fact is, it's still an expensive mistake. Refurbished are often liquid damaged. Well, we'll see what happens. Right now, I don't have a working machine, so well, Apple are moving back to the butterfly. To the scissor keyboard on it. They've stopped doing these butterfly ones. So the current 2019 model is the last time they're doing it. They're going back. They've admitted defeat, and they're going back not to the original keyboard, but to a new version of that. I'm an Apple owner. How can an electronics guy be an Apple owner? That is the craziest thing ever. What? Why is that the craziest thing ever? So I don't understand. What's using a Mac got to do with? I mean, Macs, the hardware inside of Mac is some of the nicest. I'm not talking about repairability, but some of the nicest, beautiful hardware ever designed. Like, yeah, like what would that guy have said to his manager? Hey, sorry, just letting you know, I just broke the most expensive part on this board, and yeah, like, it's crazy. Just blew my mind. Anyway, blew my mind. So should I plug the iron in? I'm too scared now to plug it in. Yeah, electronic guys appreciate that. Like, the engineering on a Mac is just insane. Like whether you like Apple or not, it's beside the point. And I've got a love-hate relationship with Apple. Like, and right now it's way more hate than love. I'm going to plug it in, Julian. Way more hate than love. I'm not even going to discuss their price or repairability. I don't care about. I'm sorry, I'm not interested in Rossman's arguments about repairability. Because Apple aren't the only company like that. They're just the one that's been doing it for the longest. But anyway. But the machines are just like, there's just nothing that beats them. I'm not talking about on price. There's nothing that beats them. It's getting close, but there is no Windows notebook on the market that is as good as a MacBook Pro. Like, there just isn't. Like, trackpad, okay, keyboard, yes, the Macs went down with keyboards for a bit. It's not a closed system. Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, it's not. Anyway. Well, Apple's hardware's always been their strength. Currently, it's their weakness. Yes. Oh no, actually, the software's pretty bad as well right now. Anyway, let's move on. I'm gonna turn this thing on. I don't want to get into a fight with Shaq, but Shaq, don't, because you'll lose the fight, or nothing will get solved. But yeah. No, let's not go into an Apple discussion. No, we're not upset, but we're going to stop before we get upset. Okay, I need to plug some power in. I hope this power supply works. Microsoft trackpads are apparently equal to Apple's. Microsoft's new trackpads? No one on the market still. Microsoft are getting close. But no, sorry. Like when you've used the current Apple trackpads, you totally understand how they're not the same. Windows wins. It only wins because it's got win in the name, right? Okay, I'm going to plug this power supply in. Hope it doesn't go pop. Because that'll really suck. Okay, it didn't go pop. But I'm not sure it's going to reach. I don't know if this is going to reach. Yeah, the new stuff is cool, but again, see, here's the thing. You look at their new Surface notebook, and it's the same price. It's actually more expensive than the Mac, and it's underpowered compared to the Mac. And is it a nice looking machine? Absolutely. And if you want that type of machine, great. But yeah, it's interesting with Microsoft because they're releasing hardware to inspire their other hardware manufacturers. They're not releasing hardware. I mean, they release it and they want to sell it, but for them, they're building the ultimate that they want their manufacturer, like their partners to build. Oh, Alan, don't start. Okay, I'm plugging this in. I'm going to plug it in. Wait, I need to take out the stand first. Is this the stand? Julian, you're going to guide me? How does that work? Is that the stand? Or does it clip on? How do you use the stand? Was that right? Someone tell me how to use the stand. Don't forget the SD cable. Each to their own. I've never used a Mac, so I can't say. Absolutely, each to their own. Absolutely. Can I tell you something? Okay, let's. I just want to say something to be clear. I'm a Mac OS user. I love Mac OS. If I could buy, and let's not talk about Hackintoshes right now. Like, I'm not talking about a Hackintosh. If I could run Mac OS not on a Mac, I would absolutely currently buy different hardware. Right? As long as I can use Mac OS. But while I can only use Mac OS on a Mac or a Hackintosh, which that's for another story, then I'm stuck on the Mac hardware ecosystem for now. James's comment. What did James say? I missed James' comment. Spectre. Oh, here we go. Spectre laptops are better than Macs. No, they're not. And Macs are not better than Spectre notebooks. What they are is as expensive as a Mac. So there goes the whole Macs are expensive comment. You can't compare them like that. There's good things and bad things about them all. Religion, politics, Mac PC, the three big no-nos of polite discourse. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not saying Apple hardware is better than any other hardware, other than the trackpads. I'm saying that Apple's hardware is fantastic. Do I just plug this in? Do I just plug it in? Yes? Doesn't make any sense. Because then how do you get it out again? No one's telling me macOS is essentially just themed BSD. Not anymore, Gavin. Oh no. Okay, let's not talk about this anymore. Let's not talk about this anymore, please. Please. Okay, we're going back to soldering irons. Yes. What do I do with this clip? Where does the clip go? Like, how does this work? It can't be there because Oh, I can't get that in and out. Commodore 64 is the best. Forget the stand, but I don't want to... What, I can just leave the iron... Okay, I don't want to melt... Okay, here we go. I'm going to do it. You ready? Okay. Version 2.18. Is that good? I don't know. Press that one. Press. Okay, 25 degrees. Oh, gee, that climbs really quickly. But that's bouncing around heaps. Why is that bouncing around so much? Anyone know why? Is there any manual? No, it didn't come with the manual. So it settled at 300, but that bounced around like crazy. Doesn't feel like 300. I just stick it up my nose. You forgot NASCAR. I would have said yes, that is a stand. But I'm going to burn my fingers taking it out. That's right, that's why I didn't want to do it. Don't melt the cutting mat. No, I'm holding it. So that says it's 300 degrees. So let me just grab that and let me grab... Oh my gosh! Okay, some solder. This is just my multi-core. Got my Loctite multi-core. Let's make smoke, shall we? Ooh, okay, well, yeah, that cable's useless. This cable's useless. It's too heavy, I think. I'm gonna need a longer, softer cable. Damn, that's a waste of a power supply. Ooh, that's nice. I'm keen to see how long the tips will last. That's actually quite a nice pointy-ish tip. Probably did a PID tune. Put the BC tip on. Hey Wolfgang, hi to anyone I haven't said hi to. Crack pack one. Clips for ESD safety, right? So where do I put it down now? Like, how do I need a stand or something. If I put it down, it's just going to roll. So is there an off button? How do I turn it off? Other than unplug it. Didn't have too many power supplies. Oh, I've got enough power supplies. I just didn't have a 24 volt one. I had lots of 12s, but I was told 12 was too low. The stand has a ceramic holder with a sponge. You should have it. No, I didn't get any ceramic thing with a sponge. Not in this kit, anyway. Maybe that's something I needed to buy separately. Maybe that's why this was so cheap. I don't know. Most interesting stuff I've seen these days. What's the most interesting stuff we've seen these days? Michael Mann was a great movie. Electron Ash, really good. Selects orbiter and turns itself off. If you want to turn it off, hold the second button. Hey David Grants. Just got one of the silicon tattoo cables from Ali. Yeah, I'm going to. So second button, holding, whoops, holding the second button. No, that just set it to 400 degrees. That's not what I wanted to do. You said press and hold the second button. No? Listen to Julian. I'm trying to listen to Julian. Oh, press both. Thank you. Okay, press, right. So that, it's put me back to this one. So that's, oops, it's put me back to that. So I assume that's now off. So that'll cool down, I hope. Read the manual. It didn't come with a manual. Or maybe this is a manual. Is this a manual? Is that going to melt? Don't touch my bench. Okay, it did come with a manual. Some instructions. Well, there you go. Bit worried about leaving my iron just there. I'm gonna move it over somewhere else while it cools down. Oh, there you go. I've got a TS100. Yay. But yeah, I need to get a different cable. That cable's terrible. So you reckon that, what was it? The silicon tattoo cables from Ali. But what are they though? Is it just like a USB cable? Like I need a cable that's going to go to, or do I have to cut it and make my own? On a USB, the TS100 is not a USB-C. It's the TS80 is designed to work off USB-C. Well, yeah. Like a USB-C power supply is only 5 volts still. So I'm not sure how that would work. To 2 cable, cut and put your own connectors. Right, okay. Right. Yeah, the TS80 runs off USB-C, and I almost got a TS80. I actually originally wanted the TS80 instead of the TS100. But I went for the TS100 because I'd heard too many stories with the TS80 about needing special power and all sorts of, I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't mind, like I still want it to run off DC, but yeah, maybe I'll look at putting getting a silicon cable for that as well. You can use a LiPo. Wouldn't last very long, I don't think. Well, no, because you need 24 volts. Yeah, and the TS80 tips are quite expensive, much more expensive. And I wanted to see if I went through these tips first. Look, and everyone's recommending the TS100, so I'm quite happy with the TS100. Happy to use that. I've got a second eye now, which is good, because that's really what I needed. So the last thing to show you, and I know I still haven't done a video about it, but I just want to show you this. It's my Pro S2 Revision 2. Built and working. So I showed I hinted at the PCBs last week. Well, I built one. And it works. Yay. Oh yeah, SP Reflow Master. When? I don't know. I haven't even sent the boards off yet, Electron Ash. Long story. I'm having second thoughts, not about the Reflow Master. I'm trying to realign stuff in my brain. Is that in focus? I hope so. I'm trying to realign stuff in my brain about my Nano and about just stuff in general. Yeah, tricky. I've got too many directions I'm going right now, and with ideas, and I need to narrow them down and focus a bit more, I think. So, and I feel like if I'm going to do, this is obviously my Rev 1 Nano. I've not built my Rev 2 board yet. I don't even know if I've got a board out here anywhere. No, I don't. So I've not built my newer one, which is smaller, which is what the Reflow Master Pro is going to use. But I'm really second guessing what to do with my Nano right now, because it's a lot of money to build Nanos just for my Reflow Masters and for some small projects if I'm not going to commercialize it. And if I'm going to commercialize it, I need to redesign it. It needs to be certifiable, even if I don't certify it. Pick up the stand for the TS100 works. Ooh, okay. Thank you, David. Yeah, that's what I connected it on, but I couldn't get it off again. Maybe if I'd make it a bit looser. Unless it's supposed to keep the stand on the whole time. That'd be crazy. So if I want to make this certifiable, then I need to change its shape, because it needs to be able to have an RF shield put on, even if I don't do it myself, right? Does that make sense? So if you look at this is the S2 development board from Espressive. So this is where their module sits. These lines around here, that's for a shield, an RF shield, right? So do I have one of their, let me just grab one of their modules. if I can find one easily. Okay. Hey Adam. So this is their module, right? For the S2. And that's where the shield goes. Now, if I'm going to put a shield on one of my, or if I'm going to have the ability to put a shield on, then I need to make room for it. And that's not something you can do afterwards. So the problem is going to be if I say, okay, I'm going to make these things, right? And potentially sell them, even if I'm not prepared to certify them myself. But my expectation is that if someone uses one of these in a project, they're going to certify it. Then it needs to be certifiable, which means it needs to have the ability to stick a shield on it, an RF shield. And you can't stick an RF shield over the whole module, because then you're going to interfere with the antenna. So I'm going to have to redesign the shape of the Nano, probably make it bigger again than when I made it smaller, so I can fit room to stick a shield over it, so people could get it certified if they wanted to. Hey Ilio, and hello to anyone that I haven't said hi to, again, that popped in, that I missed when they popped in. That makes sense. So that's the thing. I because the boards are expensive, the PCBs are, because they're castellated, it's a big investment for me to make these just for myself, because the PCB alone for these is the same cost as the whole BOM cost. So it doesn't make any sense financially to go down that road just for my own projects, right? Is Rob going? Bye Rob, catch you later. Thanks for joining. Though having usual examples still run. Yeah, so that's my dilemma right now. And I feel like I need to make a decision on that before I move forward. These are not for hobbyists. Why do you need certification? These are not for hobbyists. If they're not for hobbyists, they need certification. For hobbyists, you don't need... Well... So... How do I explain it? So making these for myself is not cost effective. Like for my own use is not cost effective. I could just put the parts on my board, right? The only way this becomes cost effective is in mass manufacturing, and the only way this would ever sell in mass manufacturing is for people to adopt it into their projects, into commercial projects. Like that's what a module's for. A module is designed that you can take the module, like a Room 32, and you can stick it on your board, and then the Room 32 is already certified, and you still have to certify your final product, but the fact that the Room 32 is certified helps. It eliminates a lot of the certification needs. And so why would someone use my board if it's not certifiable? It's one thing to not have it certified, but if it's not certifiable, then why would anyone use it? And if no one's going to use it, why would I ever mass produce it? And if I'm not going to mass produce it, why would I make it at all? Because it's expensive, really expensive to do in small batches. Does that make sense? The heck of certification with the pins. Wi-Fi and BLE is all you need. And with the pins, what do you mean? Wi-Fi and BLE is the bit that you need certified. So I don't understand what you're saying, Marin. That's the whole problem. Offer it with a free cuddly toy. It's because of the RF that certification is the hard part, right? So yeah, I've got some big decisions to make, because the Tiny Pico Nano could be a product that does very well, but only if it's a product that can be used commercially. And if it's going to be used commercially, then it needs to be certifiable. I either need to have it pre-certified, which would be even better, or it needs to be certifiable. Does that make sense? Yeah. I hope that makes sense. I'm not sure if anyone's even listening anymore. That's okay. Everyone's still talking about stands for the TS100. Okay, it turned off. That's good. So it obviously has gone to sleep. So yes. So anyway, so that's why, that's the hold up there. But meanwhile, there's been no progress that I know of on the S2 chip. So I haven't heard anything back from Espressive still. So I'm in a waiting game on, on this board. This board works, as did my previous version. I did make a mistake on this board, not a functioning mistake, but a silly mistake. So we've been talking a lot about like having an enable pin on my stuff. And so I added an enable pin, but what did I do? I added it here. Anyone want to tell me the problem with adding the enable pin here? For those that don't already know, some of you know. What was the problem with adding an enable pin here, which seemed like the obvious place next to the 3.3 volt regulator pin? I'll let you guys let me know. Okay, there's shit to go through, but when you got it, you're very happy with it. Sure, it's shit to go through, and it's very expensive. So doesn't make a lot of sense unless I'm doing a mass, unless I've got high enough sales. Hey Kren, no, it's not that it floats high. The enable pin works. It's working great. I'm talking about where I've put it, the position of it. I thought you said you didn't need the expensive castellation. What do you mean it didn't need the expensive castellation? The castellation is expensive. What do you mean? So I don't understand the question, Paul. This is castellated on 3 sides, which, that's the castellation alone is $35 that gets added on. So unless I'm building hundreds or thousands of boards to amortize that over, it's super expensive. Make a poll. No, a poll's not going to help me, Killer Geek. I need to sell 20 to 50,000 boards. I'm not really going to do it. Where am I going to do a poll for that type of number? Yeah. To certify them, I need to be doing, hey Keen, need to be doing massive numbers, like tens of thousands minimum. Oh, David's back. So is it a groin injury or a foot injury? Paul, I think you were, I'm pretty sure I can't get enough reach. And they're not the places to ask. It's commercial. It's the commercial space that would make the Nano viable, not the hobby space. Hobbyists aren't going to buy these, right? I mean, you can't breadboard with it. You can't easily prototype with it. You need to stick it on another PCB. I'm generalizing, but most hobbyists wouldn't. I was wondering, I can't just use for the castellations, then just route through them. Well, these are done just with normal through-hole headers, but it's doing these edges, they put them through a special machine, and they charge for it. So the problem is, if they don't, when they cut them, it rips all the edges off, like all the tinning off. So, well, that's what they say anyway. And JLC is still by far the cheapest for castellated edges. Put them in a light bulb and you can sell the big amounts. Pretty sure that's not going to fit in a light bulb. Not nicely anyway. I slipped past 2 kids, then proceeded with a glorious pass down the centre, at which point I nicked the ground more than the ball. Now I have a painful big toe. Oh, just a big toe. Okay, good. As long as it's not your groin. Now it's an extra big toe. I thought you said that you got JLCB to agree you could just have header pins. Right, that was the process, Paul. The expensive part wasn't the process. The expensive part is they charge for castellated edges. So they charge you per edge. And in my case, 3 edges is $35. So if I'm doing a run, so 10 of these boards is $80. So these are $8 per PCB. That's kind of expensive. So even if I got, and then if I do them in a panel, the price goes up. And if I don't do them in a panel, I can't pick and place them. So, and I've got to work out how I'm going to panelize them because of the castellated edges. It's going to be a real problem to solve. So, and JLC PCB are probably not the people to solve it for me, which means my costs are going to be even higher, because this same board at PCBWay is twice the price, and at Seed is 2.5 times the price. I need to try out Elecro, but Elecro is going to be at least 1.8 times the price. So yeah, it's a very expensive process to go through. I've had castellated boards before. They don't lead too much. If someone wants to prototype using a tiny Pico, the baseboard is better. That's right. So that they prototype with a tiny Pico. Do I have a tiny Pico? Oh, I want to talk to you about something else, which I will as well if I remember. If the stream doesn't die. What's the time? 8:30. Cool. You prototype with a tiny Pico, sure, and then you move on to, if you want to use that design in your project, you can move on to a Nano, because it's the same, pretty much. But it's not for hobbyists. That's not where I'm going to do my sales. And I looked at for MicroPython, Zigbee 3 MCU. Hey Marius, no, I don't know what that is. Did I miss the fire? You did miss the fire, John. It was yesterday. Yes. Way not to use a castellation and still make it a module being able to solder on a carrier board. No. Not if it's going to solder directly onto the board. You'd take off the castellations and you'd use mezzanine connectors on the bottom, and then a mezzanine on the other side to clip it together. But that's going to end up being the same cost and nowhere near as stable. So castellated edges is the way to go. Cannot buy an uncertified component. You would not buy an uncertified component, as it would screw you when you go for the testing. If it costs 2k, you won't. I don't agree with that, embedded hobbyist. At the end of the day, even if you buy a certified component, you still have to certify your product. It makes certification easier, but it still needs to be certified. That component still gets tested as part of your overall thing. So it's your product that gets certified, not the individual parts on your product. Does that make sense? So I don't believe, like, there are companies that buy non-certified products and put them on their board, because it might end up being a tiny cost compared to their entire certification. It depends what the project is. We're not talking about buying a certified module and sticking it on a like buying one of these and sticking on a board and selling a development board. We're talking about buying one of these and sticking on a project that might be it might have $5,000 worth of components on that product, and it might be something that sells for $10,000. Like, you know what I mean? It totally depends on the product. If it's just for you, why not replace the castellated connectors with a small board-to-board connector? A mezzanine, sure, but that's not something I want to be doing on my projects. I don't want to be using just a mezzanine, and this wasn't necessarily just for me. I just need to rethink what I'm doing with it. That's all. I need to decide. Yeah. Before I commit to having any of my own designs working with it, I need to decide what I'm doing with it. That's all. So rather than rushing in, because it's expensive, I'm taking my time to think about it, if that makes sense. Out of curiosity, will you be going to Monash Mini Maker Fair? Yeah, I think I might. Yeah, we have a Mini Maker Fair here in December. Is it December? In Melbourne. So yeah, I might rock up. If you need 20k of them, certification is the least of your problems. Why is it the least of my problems? It's still not the least of my problems. It's still a pain in the ass to do, and expensive. But why is 20k? Why is that the least of my problems? In terms of manufacturing. If you want to live, everything needs to be CE approved. If you want to settle, no, that's not true, Marius. It depends. Like my tiny Picos, for instance, fully legal to sell in the EU. So that's what you said is a very general statement. If it's an end user product, absolutely. But CE has exactly the same ruling as the FCC stuff when it comes to electronic components and what has to be certified and what doesn't have to be certified. Could we decide for me, says Julian. What, decide what to do with the... Well, you can definitely offer suggestions. You can absolutely offer suggestions. And I'm just missing... I love Scotch. Are you willing to pay lots for FCC certification for international radio? Well, that's the thing. If I'm going to get it certified, I have to do all regions, and I have to do Wi-Fi and BLE and Bluetooth. I've got to do 3 different RF certifications for every region. So certifications end up... It's going to be a lot of money. That's why I have to decide. But I'm not saying I'm going to certify it, but it's got to be certifiable, right? And this is not certifiable because you can't stick an RF shield on it. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I need to decide if I'm going to, if I'm not going to be making them and selling them, then it doesn't matter. If my aim is to make them and sell them, then I need to set myself up to make them and sell them properly, which means I need to at least make them certifiable. Or put pads on the underside and make it like a BGA package. Right, but for industrial use, that doesn't make any difference, Killer Geek, about making like a BGA package. If it's industrial use, it needs to be certifiable. We're back to that same problem. It's a circular thing. CE, China export. No, CE is the certification. It's like FCC, but CE in Europe. Made a default board with the mezzanine connectors. Yeah, mezzanine connectors are cool. Well, you might get to see the 64x64 lit up, but I don't know how to use my FPGA yet, Michael, so this might be a while. Sure, I need to pick and place them. Well, I can pick and place them. Manufacturing these, not a problem. Like that's not my concern. It's what to do in terms of certain stuff. Compressed high protein garden mulch can burst into flames, even wet. That is true. We don't know what caused the fire here, though. So I missed some chat. What was that? Well, that's as I said, Bruce. Like, unless I'm shipping over 20,000 of them, there's no point getting them certified. That's right. But I'll never get to 20,000 sales if they're not certified. It's a chicken and egg. It's an unknown component. Certifying BLE module costs an arm and a leg. It's been a few years getting equipment marked. We would not design an uncertified into our design. Sure, not everyone will. Absolutely, you're right. But some people do. And I know of some products, of some people who have, especially if they have to modify stuff. And BLE doesn't cost any more than Wi-Fi or Bluetooth in general. I mean, they're all the same cost, but you have to pay for each individually for each region. Do I get any Ren and Stumpy jokes? Isn't it Ren and Stimpy? Really? Tell me more. Tell you more about what? About what doesn't need to be certified? What defines the end consumer? No, okay, let me... Forget about what confines the end consumer. It's up to what... If it's a finished product, then it has to be certified. If it's a product that can get used with another product... I'm not talking about commercial... okay, no, I'm not going to go into... I've covered this before. Sorry, no offense, Marius. I've mentioned this a few times on my streams. You need to look it up. You need to look up assemblies. The Tony Pico is classed as an assembly. That is an assembly. That is a board that is designed to work with other boards that on its own, sure, you can program it, but on its own, it doesn't really do much. It's designed clearly to plug things into it. A screen, a sensor... whatever, other electronics, right? Which means this is called an assembly. And because it's an assembly, it does not have to be certified. The final product that gets made with it, if it's going to be sold, has to be certified. But because it's an assembly, it does not have to be certified. Now, if this was sold, it had no pins on it, it'd be pointless. If it had no pins on it and it was just USB and all you do is plug it in and you can program it and communicate with the internet, then technically that would have to be certified because it's not designed to work with any other hardware. That's it in a very general way, right? So that's what classes what needs to be certified and what doesn't need to be certified. The shield requirement baffles me. Why is that? Well, sorry, I'm really behind the chat now. So with an RF shield, thank you for the super chat. I love Scotch. I really appreciate it. Hang on, I've just lost all my. I've lost where I was up to on the chat. So if you can't stick an RF shield on it, then you can't. So like for things to be certified, it needs to have a radiation shield on it. Like, you know, all of these things here. So there's a shield on it, right? Here's there's a Wi-Fi module on a feather. It's got a shield on it. Like a Room 32's got a shield on it. So it's part of the, like you can't. The shield is designed to limit radiation, and if your board can't put a shield on the board, then it's not going to pass certification. Like it's not going to be able to. As it stands, doesn't seem to make a viable commercial option to make them. No, it doesn't. Well, no. Here's the thing: it doesn't make sense to certify them, but does it make sense to redesign it and make it certifiable? Is the question I'm trying to work out. Why does it need a shield? Lots of stuff are certified that don't have any shield. Lots of stuff that has RF. Like, can you show me something that's got RF that doesn't have a shield? I'd be quite keen to see that. Make 2 models, one small, not for FFC. No, making 2 models just makes my costs go up. If I'm going to make one that's got expanded that can have a shield, then I'm just going to make one. Like, it doesn't make any sense to make 2. SP modules, the bare modules. I believe they're FCC, but the rest, I don't know. I don't know where they're certified or not. Depends who's making them, where they come from. CE is no certification, just a declaration. But it's still got the same testing requirements. I don't know what you mean, Alex. Like, for you to get CE on your, like CE approved on your product, it has to have passed pretty much the identical testing to what FCC is. But in Europe, for Europe, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't, I'm pretty sure I can't just stick CE on my board if it's not, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it'll be certifiable if I worry about it too much. Yeah, well, I'm not actually worrying about it too much. I'm just, as I said, the reason I haven't made those boards yet is I'm still trying to work out in my head what I want to do before I commit. That's all. What type of project do I want to use to make the I don't have any project in mind for the icebreaker. I just want to learn how to use it. I just want to get into FPGAs. I want to learn about FPGAs. I want to not get into. I'm not necessarily wanting to make anything with it yet. I just want to play and learn. I'll start off by just seeing if I can make it do something. I actually don't like Scotch, by the way. I love Scotch, but I'm not a Scotch drinker. No. Certainly, you still need to take C into account if you remember the first issue. Let the user put RF shield on and have it certified. Right, but they can't put an RF shield on it unless I've left space for them to put an RF shield on it. That's what I'm saying. I may not put a shield on it, and I may not get it certified, but I have to at least put the facility for them to stick a shield on it, and they cannot stick a shield on this or my new Nano. There's no, you know what I mean? There needs to be, the shield has to sit inside the castellated edges. I know many people using uncertified, but they expect the module not to be emitting so as to make the entire product. Exactly. So if my board is certifiable, that means that they can go through certification. Right? Just because my board isn't, like, you know, does that make, yeah. Like, I could design them in such a way that they were just terrible and they'd never pass certification no matter what you did. Or I can make them in a way that they were easy to certify, you know, and like I've done all the work to make them certifiable other than getting them certified, and then it makes them easier for them to certify. That's all I'm trying to say. If CE self-certification, and my board actually doesn't adhere to it, and I say this board's CE certified, then I'm screwed, right? So this is like, I can't just go and stick CE on it. My car key is an RF transmitter and has no shielding whatsoever. I'm not talking about your car key. I'm talking about Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. I'm talking about microcontrollers. I'm saying show me an electronics product of the stuff that we're talking about that has not a, I don't know about a car key. I can't answer that one. Unless you really plan to market and sell the device in a very large volume with little margin costs, I would design non-FCC version and have the option for any user pay for a PCB new design. I don't want them to pay me for a PCB new design. I'm not interested in doing custom hardware that way. Another super chat. My other Scotch. Sit battle. If you design for FCC, often first design fails. So no matter what, you would end up redoing. No. Sorry, I don't agree with that specifically. So often, it's not my first design, and the things that you need to change on a board, like if your board's designed badly, it's designed badly. But my boards aren't designed badly, and I'm taking RF into account, and it would be about shielding and tuning on my board, and that would not necessarily require a board redesign. And often it doesn't require a board redesign. It often requires component matching changes, shielding dimension changes, shielding thickness changes. I'm not going to I don't just design something in Eagle and then go, oh, there it is, this is going to be certifiable. I'm talking anyway. So I'm designing a proper, well-designed, perfectly matched board with the ability to put a shield on is not going in wrong for designing for certification. Will there be feedback from certification coming back saying, okay, you might need to tweak this and that? Sure, and if that's the case, then you tweak it. But you can't say, well, I'm just going to design it not for CE first or for FCC first and then redesign it later. I'm not sure. Maybe I don't understand. Actually, for CE, you need a representative in the EU to make the declaration. Do they have to be a particular body? Like, someone's got to check it. Like, how could... Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, what about UL listing? What's UL listing? How likely is this thing to mess other things up if it's going wrong? What do you mean, James? Basically comes down to how likely is this to mess other things up if it goes wrong? What do you mean by goes wrong? Is it not done to spend a bigger one? Sorry. Is it not done to send a bigger one in for certification, and once it's certified, build a smaller one in bigger numbers? No, second you change anything on your board, you lose all your certification. So if you get your board, when you get your board certified, right, and you have let's say you've got in my case, a 7.5 nano Henry, I'm just going to switch cameras, a 7.5 nano Henry inductor on the board as part of the RF matching, right? And it's a particular brand and particular characteristics, and your board, let's say it's passed the certification, and you go into manufacturing, and that part is no longer available, and you need to swap it out with another part, and it's exactly the same spec, yeah? You've lost your certification, you need to go get your board recertified. That is my understanding, that is what I've been told, and I've spoken to people that have gone through that process before, right? You cannot say, here's my design, get it certified, and then make something different. Right, that's it, you're stuck. You're stuck with those exact parts, with that exact PCB and manufacturing and everything else. If you go and get your PCBs made somewhere else, even if it's the same design, you need to go put it back into certification and make sure that it's still right. You cannot change anything about your board once it's been certified. From experience, UL CSA was relatively trivial, FCC was not, and expensive depending on what wasn't right. I don't know what UL CSA is, sorry. Safety, right. So there's a lot of stuff's gone past. Samsung Zigbee to perform a multi-purpose sensor does not have an RF shield. I don't know what that product is. Sorry, Patrick. And I don't know. Maybe there are products out there that don't have shields. Every single Bluetooth, RF, so Bluetooth or Wi-Fi product I have in my office from all different manufacturers, they're all shielded. They're all certified and they're all shielded. And so, could I get away with no shielding? I don't know. I don't understand why anyone would shield it then if they don't have to shield it. If it's not going to either make certification easier or if it's a requirement. So I don't know. So are there products out there that are not shielded, that are sold legally? Maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't own one, and I've got stacks of stuff here. Hey, Graham. People who... Yes, and I do know people who have revved their boards and forgot to recertify. Yeah, it's a nightmare. It's very strict. You lose your certification instantly if you've changed your board. Legal entity must be located in the EU to make the declaration, so you need a distributor to do that. Thus, you need to allow for that in your margins. Yeah, right. Messy. How about if you use different solder paste, different board color? Well, different solder paste could potentially change your RF characteristics of your board. Absolutely. The composition of the metal could completely change. Like any time you change metal around your RF, you're changing the characteristics of the antenna and of the whole setup. I don't know about board color. I don't know. Sensors is the product name. Nobody checks CE. It's purely self-cert. The only people who may check are your public liability insurers. There's no awarding or certifying body. The big toe is too big for the tiny pico. What? You can know you will, and manufacturer will do that. What if you put one of the resistors on upside down? Does that constitute? Azzy, don't be an idiot. I also know people that the positive seat with doctored board and forgot to put those fixes into the production. Wow. Yeah. Universal Labs approval. Okay. Sorry, there's a lot of chat. I'm still reading back. This has gone crazy. I believe with the change PCB component software, you can make a declaration saying the change doesn't affect compliance and doesn't redo testing. Okay. Sure. But you still have to to do that, Keen. Like you know what I mean. Like you can't just go and change it willy nilly and like you have to at least. It's got to be documented. It's got to be whether do you need to notify. Is it okay just to make a declaration? Like who does that declaration get sent to? You'd have to lodge that with FCC or whoever, right? To let them know that that's happened. Which you couldn't just note it down yourself. Shielding is not a requirement, but makes certifying easier. Yeah, it may not be a requirement, but if you export from Canada to whatever country, you usually have to declare that you meet EM emissions requirements. China export. It's definitely a muddied acronym now, isn't it? Sounds like a super pain just to have Wi-Fi on your boards. Only if you making a product that you want to sell commercially to people to use them to build in their products, right? Sounds like a super. Some products are not self-cert. Medical, you need one. Yeah, medical's a whole different thing, and military is a whole different thing. Can you give an example for one or more of your assembly products that can be turned into an end product? Like, what would the end product be? I don't know, it could be whatever. You could take a tiny Pico and some RGB LEDs, and you can build a clock, and you can sell the clock. Yeah, you put the clock on your store, and people can buy the clock, and they can plug in at home, and it's got a Wi-Fi clock, right? Well, that's an end product. Like someone's, if I sell this to you, and you're building electronics, you're tinkering with electronics, it's not an end product. It's just a product. It's something that you're connecting other things to, and you're playing with, right? But if it's, if the intent of the product is sold to someone that they plug it in and use it as is, then that's an end product, right? So, if I stick this on a reflow master and then I sell the reflow master, that's an end product. Like, the reflow master is designed to control your oven. It's not designed for you to open it up and solder other things to it specifically and make something out. You don't buy a reflow master and then build a Wi-Fi clock out of it, right? So they're end products. Everyone's helping me procrastinate. That's okay. I'm so tired today. I don't know how much work I'm going to get done afterwards. Sam's been through all of this recently, so I'm with him on it. No, look, I'm no expert. Look, I've done as much research as I can. I don't know everything. I don't even know hardly anything. You know what I mean? I mean, there are people out there that have gone through certification that they know way more about certification than me. But I speak to as many people as I can, and I did my research for Tiny Pico to make sure that I was legally allowed to sell them, which I am. And, I've got product ideas in my head that are much more targeted at industrial than hobbyists, and I need to really work out in my head, do I want to go down that road? Do I want to be building product for that, again, high quantity, low margin? Do I want to go through the hassles of certification? Like, I don't know. These are all things that buzz around in my head. And there's always a yes, because I want the challenge. But does it make sense commercially? No. No. But then again, I didn't think my Tiny Pico made sense commercially, and that, it did okay. Like, I'm not retiring, but that did okay. So, FCC, yes, you were supposed to lodge. With C, I don't think so. In AU, you just need to keep a technical file in case the AMCA come knocking. See, Keen knows all this stuff. By the way, for those that don't know, Keen's in Australia. He's in Sydney. He's got his own electronics manufacturing and lab. He's been in this space for decades, way longer than me. And again, I'll be the first person to admit I don't know everything, but I'm trying to learn as much as I can about it. But I have to look from a commercial point of view if it makes sense to me to build something that can't be certified. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Not if it's a high cost product. And when I'm saying high cost, like low margin, right? Put headers on the clock and it's an assembly. No cert, win. Sure. No, not really. So here's the thing with that. It depends who it's being sold to. Right? If I take my clock and I do a deal with the shop around the corner and they're selling, I put them in a box and they're selling them to people that walk in the store, it doesn't matter if it's got header pins on it. That's an end product. The expectation is the person that walks in their store is buying it as a clock, not, oh, look at that, it's got an ESP32 inside it, maybe I can hack it. They're buying a clock, therefore it's got to be certified. Never buy. Why would you never buy a Wi-Fi light bulb, Julian? You're worried that they're going to spy on you? That's why don't worry about cert if it's only development board. Right, but again, it needs to be right. It's not whether will I certify it or not. It's will I make it certifiable or not. That was the original question. Right? I don't believe my Nano as it is right now is lends itself to be certified as well as it could be, which is then a barrier for people to buy it. And if there's a barrier for people to buy it, then there's no point in me making it. right? Because if I'm making a product that is going to be clear that it's not going to be a smart product for people to invest in, because I haven't given them what they need to make it certifiable, then that just doesn't make any sense. I've worked with FCC cert. I've never seen the first PCB pass. Oh, absolutely, the first PCBs don't pass necessarily, but the changes to those PCBs can be major or they can be minor, right? And it really depends on what the board is, right? I mean, this is a very small specialized board. Okay, it's not like this is just, it's not like a massive board that does, stacks of other stuff. So the changes that would have to happen to this board, if there were changes required, would be fairly minor. In my belief, that's my belief. I need to catch transit soon. Interesting bits and bobs. Thanks, Jim. Thanks for joining. If you do disappear, Commander Keen. That's funny. I thought that as well as soon as I felt keen. Like you, I don't that much. I rely on others to check things. The rules differ almost every product. Yeah, I'm trying to learn as much as I can from as many people as I can, and do as much research as I can, and be as prepared as I can be. Right, but you never know. I would imagine that you would walk into cert with the best intentions, with the best design board you can come up with, and then get completely smashed on your first attempt going through cert. Sure. Yes, Keen is Mick Make's friends. Keen and Mick. So when Mick went to get his stuff pick and placed at his mate's place, that was Keen's. Wi-Fi spotted. Haha. With CA's placing on the market that counts. Apologies for being too direct. Don't get offended. It's just a serious question. But if I can make the clock hardware, which I can, why would I not build the microcontroller onto my own board? Sure, absolutely. But not everyone can do that. But not everyone wants to. It's not just a microcontroller. You're not building just The question is, what do you look at all the components on that? Do you want to, if you're building a clock and you're building however many of them, unless you've got your own pick and place machine and stuff, and even if you do you want to be assembling all those components every single time? When you can just buy something that plonks on and there you go, that's done for you. It's same, it's like using a Room 32. You put a Room 32 on your board, why? You could just buy the components inside the Room 32 and do it yourself. Well, why? Because it makes it easier. You stick one component on there, or you have to put all the components on there. And also, you're going to have to then tune your own RF. Are you going to do that as well? So you want to put Wi-Fi on your clock, and you're going to just stick your own ESP32 on there. Great. You're going to stick your own antenna. You're going to do your own matching network. You're going to get that. You can't just, or you can just stick an antenna wherever you want and have really crap Wi-Fi, that's got static reflections and gets too hot and chews your power. There's a lot of reasons why. Oh, I've got a Wi-Fi counter going. There's a lot of reasons why you want to use a pre-made module, especially for repetitive work. If there wasn't, why would people be using Room 32s? A lot of companies use existing models. Yeah. I did buy a Wi-Fi doorbell though. A Wi-Fi doorbell? And does that work? A Wi-Fi doorbell? What would you do with a Wi-Fi doorbell? As in when they ring it, it goes onto your phone? Is that what you mean? Why do you need Wi-Fi in a doorbell? Unless it's got a camera or something. We've got lucky with the certification of our IoT hub. It has 2 different radio modules and yet passed all tests the first time. Well, there you go. There's a first for everything. Always thought that these modules are for R&D only, not for mass production. No, you can use modules. And maybe Room 32s don't get used as much as other things, but yeah, there's plenty of products that use ESP32s and rooms, and you know, a lot of products have use NRF Bluetooth modules pre-done. They don't reinvent their own. Why reinvent your own if you don't have to? Many times, often a PCB is designed with extra caps, for example, which are not used in the final product. Decoupling, leave for them to install if they're needed. Many times, everything's camera, speaker, microphone, IOD, LEDs. What your doorbell's got? What? Okay, I've caught up. Yaz loves lamp. Hey Yaz. Wow, that was a long chat. I didn't think we were going to be chatting that long about RF. I got one more thing I want to talk to you about. Because why not? Let's see if I can do it before the stream dies. See on his back. Did I go somewhere? Did I disappear? Don't tell me I disappeared. So does everyone remember this? My display shield? Well, I've gone out and bought a stack of screens. I'm going to make a bunch of them. Not a lot. I'm going to make a bunch. But I wanted to talk to you, get some ideas, your thoughts on something. So soldering header pins on is going to be a real problem if the screen's already on the board. If I ship the board with the screens on, then I think that soldering the headers is going to be hard for people. And so I thought that, and I don't want to pre-solder the headers. No way do I want to pre-solder the headers. So you disappeared down the... Oh, right, the sea rabbit hole. So what I thought I could do was... See, here's my board. So I haven't got my boards made yet. So here's the board. So what I thought of doing was... A couple of options I've got. I could make the annulars much smaller, or maybe make them square, or make them so the solder's only on the sides, not circular, to keep it away from the edge of the screen. Right? I don't know. I don't think anyone's actually listening. I think everyone's just chatting. That's okay. Everyone's chatting with Yaz. I'll keep talking. Right? So to try to keep the header pins away from the screen a bit. Or the other thing I was thinking of doing was, what's if the board shipped... Oops. Let me go back to here. What's if the board shipped with the screen off? Like it's soldered on. Excuse me, soldered on and attached here, but it was loose. So then you could solder the header pins on. So let's say there was double-sided tape here, but the tape had the cover still on it, right? So you could solder the header pins on, and then you can fold over and stick your screen on. What do you think about that as an idea? Because I can't get the header pins further away from the screen because it needs to fit on a tiny Pico, right? It's a shield for the tiny Pico. So the only thing I can think of is to come up with some really weird header pins or leave the screen off and let people stick the screen on, assuming that it doesn't get damaged when I ship it. Oh, now it's stuck in. There you go. So what do you think? Soldering with the screen attached shouldn't be too much of a problem, similar to a few boards I have. Yeah, it's just very close. Like they're touching. Like I don't want people to... I don't know what happened if they soldered to the screen. Well, I mean, I did. I mean, the screen was on when I did it. I don't know if the solder will actually touch the screen or not. David says, sounds like a good way to ship. What, to leaving the screen off? A flappy screen seems fine. Okay, shipping the screen untaped is good, and then the user can position it correctly. Well, it'll be... What, you're saying I'm not going to position it correctly? Sure, paper and shipping may damage the flex connector. Yeah, I have to be careful how I shipped it. No, these... I haven't found a connector for these flex, but there's no room inside. There's no room inside here to stick a connector. So no, unfortunately not. No connectors on those ones. Custom solder pads. Yeah, I was thinking of I was thinking of doing something with the pads so they were more like an oval. So like to get rid of this corner here, I knew that was going to happen. If I got rid of this edge here, so there was just no solder going close to the edge. So they were like a semicircle. I think that might be interesting. I don't know, like maybe that's something I could do to make it soldering easier. Are you thinking about a color display? That is a color display. This is a an 80 by 160 IPS color screen. Is the back of the LCD LED conductive metallic? No, it doesn't seem to be conductive, which is good. Otherwise it wouldn't work. It'd be shorting right now. But that doesn't mean that it can't get messy with solder. I'm saying I hate it when they're crooked. Yeah, I hate it when they're crooked too. But these can't really be crooked because they sit right inside the pins. Like there's no, you can't really, like you can't get them on crooked because, which is nice, because to put them down, it's see that? Like it just goes straight because of the pins, which is, it's like a guide. Have problems soldering headers to begin with. Flex soldering is very hard. No, you don't have to solder you won't have to solder the screen. The screen will come soldered. It's just the headers will be separate. The screen will be soldered. The question is, do I have it soldered but not attached to the top? So it's easy to solder the headers. So you get the headers, you solder them in, you pull the tape off the screen, and you stick the screen down. You won't be, the screen will be pre-soldered. The board will come pre-assembled. Just no headers. Have you tried soldering one with the screen attached? Yeah, this was soldered with the screen attached. And it's fine, but to be fair, like I'm not a great solderer, but I've seen really bad soldering jobs. People, like I've got sent a tiny pico by someone. The board was faulty, and it in fact it wasn't. Their header pin was faulty, but the soldering job was just, my God. Yeah, so like I got to expect that potentially people could wreck them, and I don't want to do that. If I can, I want to make it easy for people to do. You can ship it folded over, just with the double-sided tape not applied. It'll still be concerned about the flex getting damaged and handling. Yeah, I mean that's definitely a concern. Use surface mount headers on one side. Screen would be on the opposite side. They won't fit, Dale. Surface mount headers on this side would make the headers stick out here. So if you've seen surface mount headers, they're really wide. The way they splay out, and there's no room for the connector on the inside if I do that. You're talking about, I think it's 7mm width or more for the way they splay out. So surface mount won't work, unfortunately. Some assembly required. Yes. Extend the solder resist over half the pads. Yeah, I'm not confident that JLC PCB will do that. I'm not confident that it'll work. I definitely wouldn't rely on them doing something weird with that. Yeah. Got a demo sketch to show on the screen shield connected to the TP. Not on hand right now, I don't know. Maybe somewhere in my Arduino file somewhere I do, but no. I also don't have a spare tiny pico with header pins on it right now to show you. Not right this second. Sorry, if you make the pads the way you were saying, you seriously compromise the mechanical ruggedness. seriously compromised? No, I don't think I'd seriously compromise it. Would they be a little bit less mechanically strong? Sure, but there's a whole row of them being held on. There's 10 pins being held on together. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's that much of a deal, to be honest. The least of my worries would be the mechanical ruggedness. I wouldn't do it that far that they wouldn't be strong enough. I'd definitely ship it flapping. No headers with the screen not taped down would probably be best. Yeah, I'm definitely not putting the headers on myself. No, I'm not. No. People can solder their own headers for sure. I found some of the lead frame pins. After somebody on Discord asked what they were called, SMU style deal pins that solder onto the board edges. Oh, did you? Cool. Why is David typing LO? That's weird. What was the stuff all over the board? Oh, you're talking about that other board, Adam? I haven't shown that to anyone other than you, I don't think. You're trying to insinuate that Sion pulls the cable when he has had enough? What? What did I miss? Sell them in duo packs, one with a flappy screen and one with the flappy screen and one without the headers. What? I don't understand. Post pic of the board with the bad soldering and stuff? No. Maybe one day I'll show it on the stream. Maybe one day. Use thick double-sided tape to hold the screen on. So what's this? Hang on. Prefer not stuck down. There's more options for mounting a case. Interesting. So but then why would you, really? You'd want to so you'd get something like this, but then you'd mount the screen differently. Like you wouldn't mount I don't think the flex cable is low enough to really mount the screen in any way, any useful way. I don't know. Yeah, it's a pretty small flex cable. Noman Shave says I'm not going to read that one out loud. Right. John, I'm glad you corrected that. That's funny. Giblets. Solder so close to the screen may splash flux droplets onto the screen. Yeah, it sits pretty high, but yeah, there's lots of things I'm concerned about shipping them like that. Yeah. That's why I was thinking of trying to come up with a different solution. Yeah, I just have to find a way to protect the flap during shipping. Ship with rubber band around screen, let user solder headers. Maybe some cling wrap around the board and screen to keep them attached during shipping. Yeah, I can definitely I'd bubble wrap them together so the screen would it'd be safe for shipping. It's more about should I care that a user who then has it flapping could what's if they accidentally I'd definitely have to tape down this side inside as well. I wouldn't just rely like I have here on the solder tabs. I'm worried about them ripping the screen off, maybe, if I do that. Got to go. NBN is being installed this morning. Yay! Keen's getting NBN. Oh! My stream died, but I might be back. I hope I'm back. I'm back? Wow. Sorry. OBS. Anyway, okay, I think that was a clear indication that it's time to go. Lots of people going to bed. Yaz is going. I might go say goodbye to my kids. Wow, that was a lot of chatting today, wasn't it? I've been the whole time. No, it definitely wasn't, because OBS died on me. I had to restart OBS. But you didn't realise, because you weren't listening to me, because you weren't paying attention. See? You were just all talking. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't know if Keen heard me. Keen, see you later. Good luck with your NBN install. It's really good when it works. It's just pretty bad when it doesn't. Well, there you go. I showed you lots of stuff. We had nice big chats about certification again. And I think now it's time. Glad I caught up a bit. Cool, I'm glad. I hope your toe gets better, David. Oh, hi, Story Diver. Oh, did Ben... hi, Ben. You said hi before. I missed it. Or I remember now. So Ben and Story Diver are moving. They're currently in Melbourne, but they're moving. They're going to Brisbane. It's Brisbane, isn't it? You're going to Brisbane. Oh, guess what? Peter's here. Peter, you don't want to be here right now. Peter, guess what I got? Guess what I got delivered, Peter? Uh-oh, here we go. Everyone should stick around for this. Hey, Peter, I got a box in the mail. Are you listening? I hope you are. And check this out. I got a beautiful screen. Look. I got a screen. And look at my screen. You ready? You ready? Look at that. My screen was smashed in shipping somehow. Damaged. Yeah. You should have stayed off this chat. They've been... I don't know if it's fixable. I need to look at them under a microscope. I haven't looked under the scope yet, but they're ripped off on the side. So... yeah, what a bummer, huh? That's disappointing. So disappointing. All the rest of the stuff came intact. Reflow it. Yeah, I'll look under the microscope. Don't worry, we'll work it out. It's only 3 pixels. Like, you know, what do you need? Who cares about 3 pixels? So, I had something like that delivered from China too. Maybe that's the one you passed on to me. You went, it's only Xeon. It doesn't matter. I'll just send you one of these bad ones. By powering them up and pressing them down and using either solder or super glue. Okay. Okay. Cool. We'll work it out. All good. I'm not worried. They're still there. If they were missing, that'd be different. But they're still there. I'm sure I can. We're sure I can fix it. I'm definitely not going to hot air them. I don't want to melt them. But we'll work it out. Okay. Well, good timing, Peter, because I'm saying goodbye. I'm definitely not reflowing it, Julian. I reckon it would melt if I did that. But I'll chat.